Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. Welcome to the Logic Sphere. I am your host, TipTycity, and again, we got the homie. We got brother Creole again. We got brother Creole. We trying to help. All the Bitcoin maximalist homies out, man. We want to make sure they, want to make sure they of sound mind going into the future. You know what I'm saying? So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some tunes going. Y'all hit the like button on the way in. Yeah,
they could call you the great, so you pay your bills, but you barely made it. That it's all on your shoulders and everything will seem clear if you stay sober. That your heart is really in it when you know most these folks ain't impressed with your vision. That this pep talk will keep you in top form when so many fail off.
Yo, hold on, let me.
Pain is kill or be killed. Can you keep what you claim?
You can hear me, but let me something right quick.
What's up, Ty? That these niggas really fuck with you when you hit rock bottom. Look how many stuck with you. That the devil's all around. If he knocking at your door, have strength to turn them down. They can barely hear the real shit in a world of fantasies. Can you be a realist? That the government concealing the true intentions, apprehending those that won't be peerless. That doing right will make you richer, and just because you paid these white folks still won't call you nigga. That you can sacrifice it all when the ball's in your code and your time has been called. That God will forgive you for those times that you didn't let him steal you. For those times that you up and lost faith cause you swore he couldn't hear you and nothing never changed. That screaming out his name when you lost your best friend is what really helped the pain. That you never loved fame and you wouldn't miss a dime if you lost it all the day. Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
We lit, man. Y'all hit the like button on the way in. Hit the like button.
All the time I spent all the corners bent.
Truly means nothing if you've never been in love. Truly means nothing if you've never been in love. Woke love with a slab of do. Chop with an attitude. Get back what you had to do. Everything by capital. Came up with never good. That was always against the wood. You probably would have had a crib, but you went and got a Lamborghini. Got a girl that wipe the beat. Drop top for your dropping knee. She said when the paint gets scratched, it ain't no flat, but you got to see. Hot trunk with your shoulder glow. Ain't nothing she seen before. You ain't even try to hold it though.
We here. Let's go. Hold on. Go ahead, Creole.
Test, Mike, test.
We need some more volume on you, bro.
Okay, I got you. Test. We good now?
We need some more volume. Let me see.
Test. Let me check my settings.
All right.
I feel like I'm pretty loud on my end. Let me see something.
Let me do this real quick. Go ahead.
Test. 1, 2.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's loud enough.
I want to make sure you hear me loud and clear.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to get the volume up even more there, bro. If you.
Okay, hold on. We cranked all the way up over here.
All right.
Let me see something.
Everybody say the sound is good. AZ said the sound is good.
Okay. Hey, you can hear me better now, Ty?
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Okay.
Now, he said the first song was fire. What was it? That was a
Big
song
Crit?
called The Vent from Big Crit.
Yeah.
And that shit bangs. It just bass the whole time. There ain't even no drums on that track. I like that track. I like organs and cinematic, you know what I'm saying? Heavy vibes. All right. So, man, Creole, I haven't seen you over on Ramil's channel, and I'm glad that you don't go over to Ramil's channel. You know what I'm saying? Because today I was hearing some craziness on Ramil's panel. People was trying to get me to go on the panel. I say no. Okay. Whenever people start saying crypto is going away, that's just, it gets kind of crazy.
Yeah. Crypto is here to stay for sure. It ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, regulated and all. It'll be here. Now, let's do this. Everybody,
Let's do it, man.
Everybody hit the like button.
Yeah.
Everybody hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? And if Mr. G would like to join the panel, I will open it up. That's the resident Bitcoin maximalist who said they clueless. Yeah, man, I heard all kind of stuff over there. I was like, geez, that's crazy. Y'all really believe that? Okay.
Yeah, people just don't know. It's like Child of God said, it's just pure ignorance. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, but instead of saying you don't know, you start saying stuff like, it's all going away. It's like the most greediest people in the world are going to let a $2 to $3 trillion market disappear without taking advantage of taking taxes out of it, extracting taxes out of it. They're just gonna kill it.
It's too much opportunity over here. It's going nowhere, and adoption is going to grow, and we're seeing that. In the data, the stats, adoption is growing.
Yeah, adoption is growing. Adoption is growing, and regulation is growing. So, just to let everybody know, let everybody understand, this is Creole. One half of Untwisting the Game, right? This is Mr. Bitcoin is going to infinity.
Yes.
Okay.
Bitcoin is going to infinity.
Bitcoin is going to infinity on you niggas, all right? So, all right, before we get into it, because I was thinking about that. If Bitcoin goes to infinity, right?
Right.
How much Bitcoin would you have what is the minimum amount of Bitcoin to say I'm going to be set? Because when you say infinity, it means like, okay, you could buy $500 worth now. If the price goes to infinity, then the $500 that you spent right now, February 20th, 2022, that $500 is going to be a big piece of infinity.
Yes, if you hold on to your private keys. And the reason I say Bitcoin is going to infinity is just straight math. There's only 21 million coins
in
the world now.
I gotta cut you off.
Right.
I have to cut you off. The reason why you say Bitcoin is going to infinity is because you are insane. All right, you're part of the loony Bitcoin maximalist bunch. All right, supply is not in correlation with the price action of Bitcoin.
Short-term price action volatility, you're right. But when you look at long term, it has no ceiling. And we all agree Bitcoin is digital gold, right?
No, we don't all agree.
Well, it is.
No,
Bitcoin is
I gotta hit the
look at
brakes on
price
you,
of
guys.
gold.
Yo, listen, no, we all don't agree that Bitcoin
Look,
is
Ty,
no.
look at gold. Gold has gone to infinity, right? Back when the US
No,
dollar
it
was
has not.
created. But it is. Okay. When the US dollar
Yo,
was created, you could get an ounce of gold for $20. How much is gold today per ounce? You see what I'm saying? So the hardest fixed supply asset always goes to infinity because of the supply. It's just math. It's just math, right? The hardest
no,
asset
it's not math.
always increases in terms of fiat dollars. And Bitcoin is the hardest asset ever created in human history. So if you look and see what gold did over the past 5,000 years, Bitcoin is going to do the same thing, but on an exponential scale, because
Gold.
anyone can
Okay, all right.
access Bitcoin.
Hold on, because this is what happens when the Bitcoin maximalists, you know, what I'm saying, start taking off. You gotta hit the brakes. All right, Bitcoin. I mean, gold did the same thing that property did.
Right.
Gold did the same thing that vintage automobiles did.
Right.
Gold did the same things as vintage baseball cards. Gold did the same thing.
Okay. Yes, you are correct. But all of those things you just mentioned can be duplicated. Gold, right, does not have a fixed supply. I think we find 2% of gold supply every year, right? With Bitcoin, you cannot increase the supply.
You can't increase the supply of an air-cooled Porsche either.
Right, that's true. But can I use that Porsche as currency?
Well, see, this is where the line gets blurred, because as of now in 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin's main utility is store of value.
Yes, I
Okay,
agree with that.
so I can, on that premise, I can say I'd rather be holding on to an air-cooled Porsche than Bitcoin.
Okay, so okay, I see what you're saying, but that Porsche, how much does it increase year over year in terms of dollar value?
Oh, insane now.
Is it
Insane.
200% the past 10 years? Because that's Bitcoin.
Yes. Air-cooled Porsches have definitely doubled twice.
Okay, all right. Which one has more utility?
I would say the Porsche.
Ty, come on, man. You
I
don't believe that.
promise you, I could trade an air-cooled Porsche for a lot more things I could trade a Bitcoin for.
Absolutely not. Right now, I can trade my Bitcoin for 30,000 different cryptocurrencies instantly with no third party.
Oh my God.
Instantly. I can trade my Bitcoin into any fiat instantly without a middleman. Any fiat on earth.
There is a middleman. This is what the people in Canada just realized. This is the third party. This is the third party that I kept trying to tell Mr. G about. This is why the original white paper of Bitcoin being peer-to-peer is useless.
No.
This is why they had to change it to a store of value, because it's no longer peer-to-peer.
No. Ty, and I just figured out how to turn my mic up on the settings. So let me try to do that right quick.
There we go.
It is peer-to-peer, right? And actually, I'm glad you brought up this Canada thing, because they proved that, right? There was a trucker live streaming, and people all across the world sent him $6,000 within 10 minutes directly to his Bitcoin wallet. So yeah, if you're using exchanges, there is a middleman there. But
Okay,
I can
who
take my
isn't using
Bitcoin offline.
exchanges? Wait. See, this is where we have to start talking about mass adoption and how mass adoption is happening. Because if mass adoption is happening through exchanges, shout out to Kraken, they literally said, there's nothing we can do. Like, we will bow down to the government. That's what Kraken said.
Yeah. And he's right. I love that CEO over there, Jesse Powell.
Right.
And if you haven't heard any of his interviews, I suggest you go listen to all of his interviews. But even he says Bitcoin is going to infinity. But you're right. And that's when we talk about the
He
sheep.
has to say that. He runs an exchange.
Well, he's looking out for his customers, right? Because we already know the clampdown is coming from the governments. This is just Act 1, what's happening in Canada. And what's going to happen, and we're seeing this happen, people are waking up to the fact that they really don't own the things
No,
that
they
think they
aren't.
own.
The sheep are not waking up, Creole.
Bro, they are.
No, they are not. There's no outrage about what happened with these with the crypto situation. They're
Well,
not. There's no rally against the government for doing what they
not yet. Not yet.
because
But once
the sheep are not going to buck the government. This is what I'm saying.
they already are, Ty.
Oh my
This
God,
whole
bro,
thing
this
is
is
bucking the
insane.
government over a vaccine. So
That's
what do
what I
you
keep
think's going to
saying.
happen?
Bro.
What do you think's going to happen when governments start literally freezing people's assets? I mean, we don't care right now because we're
They
in
just gonna
America.
freeze people assets like they've been doing for forever.
Okay, and what's going to happen to
freezing
Bitcoin
assets
adoption?
forever. Nobody took to the streets.
Not yet, right? And I guarantee you, what's going to happen? I guarantee you, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, will not get reelected.
Oh my God! Come on, fam.
So we're going
You
to
gotta
vote people. We're going to vote these idiots out.
No.
Bitcoiners are going to be making the laws.
See, and this will say you keep saying crazy stuff like that, but we know for a fact that when it comes down to it, okay, when the government says your UBIs will be distributed with CBDCs on a public blockchain, okay, people are going to be so happy. All these sheep are going to be just ecstatic.
They're going to be happy for a certain amount of time when they see their CBDCs lose value. All right.
Oh my God.
When I won't be able to, and this is going to happen, right? Because we know governments are going to control the CBDCs and how you use it and how you spend it.
The same way they do fiat right now.
Exactly. And that's why they're all going to go to
nobody has a
zero.
problem with it. The same way nobody
Because
has
they didn't have a choice until now, Ty. We didn't have a choice. Now people are saying, hey, I can live my life on a Bitcoin standard and nobody can fuck with it. Nobody can take my Bitcoin.
Again, the people in Canada has found that to be not true.
Well, on exchanges, yeah.
Yes, and guess what?
People are moving their Bitcoin.
People trust government exchanges, government wallets. The same thing that happened in El Salvador. A government ran wallet, which is centralized. Okay, it's centralized, which is against everything that Bitcoin is supposed to be like taken down.
I think what Bitcoin is supposed to be is choice and freedom, right? Not necessarily you're sovereign over everything that you do, because we already know that a lot of people aren't going to be able to self-custody their coins in a secure manner.
They're going to beg. This is why I say banks aren't going away, because people are going to want banks to be in control of.
But the new banks are going to be Cash App, PayPal, and Visa, not JP Morgan Chase. Right?
And no matter who it is, it's going to be regulated by the government.
Yes.
It's going to be under centralized authority.
But that centralized authority, they're losing market share. Like banks aren't going to get more customers because of a CBDC. right?
Oh,
Because if
no, wait. Banks are going to have custody of all kinds of assets, not just CBDCs. I think they're going to hold NFTs and everything else.
I agree with that, they're going to try, but they're going to get hacked. We see what's happening to OpenSea.
Yo, listen, people
They're
don't
going to get hacked.
You think people care about hacks? You think banks get robbed all the time? No, people still put their money in banks. They don't care.
It's not a problem until it's a problem. One day when you wake up, or whoever wakes up in the future, they look at their app, they look at their wallet, and it says zero. It's going to instantly change their mind frame. And that's going to happen. Banks are going to fail at this more often than they succeed, because it's going to come down to user experience. Banks aren't going to be able to keep up with the tech on the front end side of the code. Like, Bitcoin's second layer solutions are so far ahead of every base layer blockchain altcoin right now.
Here we go. Why is there a need for a second layer?
Because the base layer is for security and settlement, and you're going to have multiple transaction layers on top of Bitcoin. There's going to be an infinite amount of second layer solutions when we are 65 years old rocking in a rocking chair.
Yeah, and those second layer solutions are going to be centralized.
Some of them, but that's okay, because it's about the settlement layer.
That was the whole purpose, was to get decentralized.
No, the whole purpose is for the settlement layer to have finality and reassurance that once your transaction is hashed into a block, it can't be changed, and nobody can stop that. Now, there's going to be an infinite amount of apps, just like on your phone. There's an infinite amount of apps, right? And a lot of them are trash. There's going to be some trash second layer solutions for sure, but we have choice and freedom of choice now. And that freedom of choice is going to exponentially increase compared to what the banks are going to be able to keep up with. Bitcoin has already won, Ty. It's already won.
Yo, this is incredible, man. If Bitcoin has already won, why does it matter what the government says? Why does it matter that this executive order that Biden is about to sign is about to literally tank the market?
Well, it only matters. Why does it matter?
Bitcoin is already won. That means there's nothing anybody could do.
Yes,
why
you're
is
right.
The price moving based on
no government can stop Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't care about laws, right? Because it runs by its own laws. That's indestructible, immutable. It's not going to change no matter what executive order.
Okay, why you didn't know what I'm saying. Why does anything outside of the code matters if it's already won?
It doesn't matter. It only matters the price.
So why is the price moving like based on
because it's the wild west in crypto. People are trading with 100x leverage.
Amen. Hallelujah, the trap jumping.
Yeah. Like the people are trying to make money, right? Market makers are trapping retail in shorts and longs. That's the name of the game, right?
Right.
But the protocol doesn't care.
Right. So so you're saying that regulation needs to happen
for corporate and institutional adoption, yes.
Right. You mean the adoption that matters. That's what you mean, right?
Yes, corporate adoption matters.
Yes. And what do those corporations care about?
Money.
Right. And they also care about all the rules and regulations that keep them at the top of the financial food chain, which is ran and regulated by governments.
Until now. Right. So Ty, you have to look and I think this is where we have a disconnect. You have to look at the emerging markets, right? Where is the next generation of wealth going to be built? It's not going to be in Europe. It's not going to be in America. It's going to be in developing countries. So governments.
No, we agree there. I agree.
Okay. Okay. So
a lot of these emerging, and this is why the global debt is like, I ignore that because I know there's still a lot of room left in the global economy when these emerging markets take off.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We're on the same page right there. But the point I was trying to get at is governments and banks, they aren't going to unbank or bank the 2 billion unbanked people.
Yes,
right?
they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they're gonna go through with global ID, which Cardano is a partner of, and there will be global banking infrastructure.
When, Ty?
Oh my God.
When? See, and this is what I'm saying. Bitcoin has already won because Bitcoin doesn't require ID.
Hold on. How are the rest of the global population just going to remain unbanked?
Well, they're not, because Bitcoin fixes that. Because I don't need an ID or a government saying I have the privilege of opening a bank account. This new era of technology that we're going to move into is fast, bro. This is about to happen so fast.
Regulation. Okay. This is where we have the real disconnect. Regulation is happening way faster than Bitcoin adoption.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God, man.
No, we're still having committee hearings in Congress about mining and Bitcoin energy.
These committee
they don't
hearings
even know what stable coins are.
For the sheep. We already know that they already got stuff already implemented, ready to go in the background. They just gotta get the sheep acclimated to understand the lexicons and everything else that's already put in place.
So you're saying that these governments and central banks, they're ready to push a button and make all this happen, but what are they waiting on again?
They definitely got to collapse the current system right now.
How long is that going to take? And this is what I'm saying. You don't need to collapse the current system on a Bitcoin standard. No, yes, you don't, Ty. See,
in fact, Bitcoin needs a world, Armageddon, apocalyptic global situation for people to pick Bitcoin, for people to say, okay, we don't trust no governments no more. Bitcoin stands to gain the most from a total world collapse.
Okay.
The governments can control the collapse.
That's true. Bitcoin has the most to gain in every scenario.
No.
In every scenario, Bitcoin has the if CBDCs.
If they build a global blockchain and they build a financial system on top of it, Bitcoin that does not accept Bitcoin is done.
No, it's not done.
Yes, people would rather go ahead.
Bro, no. The banks aren't going to be able to bank the 2 billion unbanked people fast enough. Bitcoin has already, we look at El Salvador.
They'll be able to bank them faster than Bitcoin.
In El Salvador, 40% of people had bank accounts. Banks have been there for 200 years in El Salvador. You get on a Bitcoin standard, now El Salvador is 70% banked in 4 months.
Was like the 30th largest economy or some shit. Come on,
it's
man.
It's the start, right? We see Arizona trying to make Bitcoin legal tender. There's going to be some news this week about California legislation trying to make Bitcoin legal tender, right? None of these shit coins are legal tender.
No,
Bitcoin
I agree.
is playing a different game.
I agree with you there. I said that there's only one cryptocurrency, and that is Bitcoin. I can say that the second one that was in line is dead. Litecoin is dead. Anybody still buying Litecoin? God bless you. You still buying into? I think Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency. This is why I call everything else digital assets. I don't even call anything else cryptocurrency.
I agree with that.
But again, let's say these states adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Where is the Bitcoin to be stored and shit? See, this is going down the line of regulation. Even when you say, oh, this state is going to adopt it, that means that, that means that Bitcoin is falling in line with governments, not decentralization.
So this is where I think you're wrong. And this comes to game theory. Actually, let me address the chat right quick, and then I'm going to answer that question. Lesson said Bitcoin doesn't require ID, yet it requires ID to go to fiat. What's this dude talking about? My weed man doesn't have any ID. He has fiat, right?
So the weed guys was on Bitcoin early. A lot of the
exactly. But to answer your question, and this is why Bitcoin being adopted as legal tender is very important. So
it's important because it's got to have that pass.
Well, it's going there, right? It's definitely, and once people get on a Bitcoin standard, they're not going to get off. But the reason why legal tender is so important,
I can't let you just slip that in, man.
They're not going to get off
when people get on the Bitcoin standard. So what you mean by is when people trust Bitcoin more than Big Daddy government. That's what you mean.
And it's already happening.
No, it is not,
bro. Okay,
so you gotta stop saying that.
Back to the okay, I'm going to address that, but let me go back to your first question with the Bitcoin legal tender. Once Bitcoin is implemented as legal tender, every corporation in El Salvador has to be compatible with Bitcoin. That means McDonald's has to be compatible with Bitcoin.
See, because this whole El Salvador piece,
it's the first domino.
Okay, well, the first domino has a centralized wallets controlled by the government. That's the first domino?
Yes, you're right. It is a centralized wallet, but you can store Bitcoin off. You have choice, Ty.
It's a centralized wallet given to the people, controlled by who?
But I don't have to use the Chivo wallet if I'm in El Salvador.
Who is the wallet controlled by?
I think Algorand built the wallet.
No.
Shout out Coolin for saying that.
Who's running it?
I have no idea who's CEO of the Chivo
wallet. Okay, that is ran by the government.
But I don't have to use it, Ty.
But here's the thing: when they distribute whatever money into that, they have that address.
Okay, but they don't have my private keys. I don't care if the government can see how much money I got as long as they can't take it. It's not about
they can't take it, but they can control money going to that wallet. They can block that address.
Okay.
No, that's not okay.
Okay, but they can't force the entire network to block that address. So if El Salvador blocks my private address, guess what's going to happen? I'm leaving El Salvador and I'm taking my Bitcoin with me.
Oh my God! Now you got
this is why Bitcoin is so important.
Wait, hold on. You have to leave the government. You have to leave the government.
Exactly. And I will go to a Bitcoin friendly place, and whatever government is Bitcoin friendly is going to have the most wealth.
Bitcoin friendly. What? Okay, so let's talk about Bitcoin friendly, right?
Okay.
Bitcoin friendly means we like that financial system just as much as our own financial system.
Okay. Yes. And why are politicians going to say that? Because they're going to want the money. They're going to want the wealth. And we're seeing this happen to California, right? The strict laws and regulations in California, businesses are picking up shop and leaving. They're going to Texas. They're going to Florida. More business accepting places. And this is why Bitcoin is so important, because I don't have to stay here. I can put my private keys in my head and I can fly anywhere in the world and I can move my wealth with me.
Creole, you can't say Bitcoin has already won but you have to be on the run with it. You got to go on the ground with it.
It's going to, it may happen like that for a while. I mean, we even saw with the China miners. China, you know, they got strict on the mining. What happened to the miners? They left. Right. And now the Bitcoin hash rate is higher than it's ever been.
They because of the government.
And once China realizes what a blunder that is, they're going to open up their laws again.
No,
because wealth is leaving.
Because they had the digital yuan that they want to run. They don't want Bitcoin.
And who outside of China is going to use the digital yuan?
Nobody. These CBDCs are designed to be used in their countries of origin.
Okay, how can you be
being built?
How can a CBDC monetary system be larger than an open source global network?
That's what this CBDC thing is going to be.
No, CBDCs by design and by what you just said isn't going to be a global reserve asset because it's not global.
It is not going to be global. The systems that they run it on is going to be global.
Exactly. So why are we investing in?
So when you say the digital yuan isn't going to be used anywhere else, no, it's not. I agree.
Okay, so that means the digital yuan market cap will never be larger than China's GDP. But Bitcoin is borderless. Everybody on the face of the earth can plug into Bitcoin without permission. The addressable market trumps any other altcoin, shitcoin, CBDC, Fed coin, digital yuan, whatever you want to name.
Digital euro.
Yeah, all of it.
Dollar.
Bitcoin's going to be bigger than all of it.
Bitcoin is bigger than all the altcoins, but it's not bigger than fiat.
Yet. Yet.
Welcome to the Logic Sphere. I am your host. We are joined by Creole. Mr. Bitcoin is going to infinity. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and share this with your people, man.
Yeah. I love hopping on the channel, man.
This what
these are good conversations, and they need to be had. And other channels aren't talking about this.
No, like they not. There's people who totally shut off people like you. They don't even want to hear it. I'm willing to entertain it. And part of it is because I used to be a big Bitcoin maximalist. I did. I bought into it. Then I started sounding like, oh my God, no way. Like,
you'll be back.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. When I start seeing people cheerlead for a Bitcoin ETF, and I start seeing a lot of this goofiness, I was like, why do you even want a Bitcoin ETF? Like, I thought Bitcoin was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? And these are Bitcoin maximalists doing this. They still do it to this day. Yeah.
And I think I'm one of those that is cheering the ETF, but I see what you're saying. But
it's a complete contradiction of Bitcoin's use case.
Is it though? Is it really though?
It is.
I mean, I think I kind of struggle with that mentally, and sometimes I do mental gymnastics to justify myself. But the whole point is anybody can use Bitcoin. Anybody, corporations, governments. It doesn't matter what I think.
Okay, so who can't use fiat?
Which fiat, you know? So I think once fiat gets digitized, you're going to see even more sanctions across the world, right? Depending on who we have in office, who the president of this country is, who are the mayor of this city, you know, there's going to be beef. But you can't beef with Bitcoin.
Oh my God!
You can't.
Oh, you got to knock it off.
This is why Russia is going to, and I think they announced it already. Bitcoin is going to be legal tender. They're already buying oil with Bitcoin. So what happens to the fiat dollar when it decouples from the oil market, right? Like all this fiat is going to die. I mean, the US dollar is going to be the last to die, but it's definitely going to die. Going to the chat. This chat is lit. Let's address this chat. There's some good questions in here. Okay, yeah, Ukraine announced as well.
All the countries that need help. all the countries that don't have a gang. They want help. They desperate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're desperate. And I get it. You know what I'm saying? Say you're gonna adopt, you know what I'm saying, Bitcoin. And again, say you're gonna adopt something that is easily controlled by what our president says. That's how you get around US sanctions. You adapt Bitcoin, which can be crashed at the stroke of a pen by the US president.
But I mean, every asset is down right now except real estate. But it's not
too. Wait. Yeah, you can't do that. Wait a minute. See, this is what I'm saying. And this is what people start telling us. Bitcoin did this over the last such and such. I'll be like, so did this and this and this and that.
Oh, no asset has outperformed Bitcoin in the history of humanity.
Right, but we're past that point now.
It's just the beginning.
Oh my God.
It's just the beginning.
Yo, this is wild, man.
It's in the early stages, bro. And when I say about Bitcoin adoption and hyper Bitcoinization, when you realize that governments are about to plug into this monetary network, a $30,000 Bitcoin is going to be pennies. No other crypto has the growth potential that Bitcoin does. GS Gaming, it is the end, Creole. Absolutely not. Bitcoin.
Yo.
Absolutely not.
I got my gripes and my whatever on Bitcoin, but I'm not saying it's going away. I ain't that far. I got dudes all in my Telegram group saying, "Yo, it's over for Bitcoin."
Yeah, they in denial. But
I'm not there. I'm not there yet.
Ty, you will never get there.
I don't know,
you will never say Bitcoin is dead.
I don't know, fam. I don't know, brother. Listen. I would definitely want to be CBDC rich.
Why? When it's going to lose value?
Oh my Lord!
$1 million today is 90% the value of what $1 million was.
We're not even talking. See, you still deal with the current financial system. I think that the new financial system that's going to pop out, like it's going to be, even if you say it's going to go down, it'll probably take another 200 years.
So you think when governments get on CBDCs, they're just going to stop printing money, or are they going to print money faster?
Well, here's the thing though, right? With CBDCs, it's programmable poor people money.
Yeah, which means they're going to print it out the yin yang. They're going to print it out the yin yang, and they're going to devalue CBDC value.
They can. They could take and program the entire supply.
Yeah, and then 4 years down the road, we're going to have another president, and he may do the exact opposite with the CBDC. And this is what I mean about monetary policy is going to win out. CBDC monetary policy is going to be so unstable. We're not going to know what the value of a dollar really is. And this is why everything is going to be priced in Bitcoin. We don't know what
the value of a Bitcoin really is.
It's invaluable. You can't put a price on Bitcoin right now.
No,
I mean, the market tries, but it's invaluable because it's indestructible. It's unconfiscatable. uninflatable.
Oh, you stop, man.
It's the hardest asset always wins. This is why gold has been a store of value for 5,000 years, Ty, because you just can't print gold. You have to actually work and mine it. Back to the chat. Lesson Burn. What's up, man? I'm actually going to convert you by the time this is over.
Yeah.
He says BTC transactions take 30 minutes to hours to complete. False, right? The settlement takes 10 minutes to complete, but transactions on the Lightning Network, which is a second layer solution, is instant.
Which is a centralized layer.
It doesn't matter as long as the base layer is decentralized, Ty.
You cannot. Oh my God.
Look at the internet, right? The internet protocol is decentralized.
The Lightning Network, you are literally under regulations if you run a Lightning node.
So what? As long as the base layer protocol,
the government, you literally have to give up all the transaction records that you have if you run a Lightning node to the government.
I don't know how true that is because Lightning Network transactions are anonymous and you can't track them.
So
maybe the on-ramp
on a Lightning node, you take the position as what they call a money changer or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to give up those records to the government. Okay,
but it doesn't have name, addresses, and social security numbers on it, right?
But it's infinitely. It has addresses that can be linked to other payment outlets that they can do the forensic on it and find out things in the Lightning Network.
Yeah, it's a lot of work though.
If anybody got who could do a lot of work to figure out who somebody is, it's the government.
Okay, not when it comes to technology, right? So we already know Bitcoin transactions on the base layer chain, there was less than 0.1 or it was 0.15% of transactions were criminal. All of those 0.15% were tracked on the base layer, not second layer solutions. And then there's going to be an infinite amount of second layer solutions with different features. So just like the internet, Ty, the internet HTTP protocol, the TCP IP protocol is open, is decentralized. Anyone can plug into it and use it. Now, there's an infinite amount of websites that use that protocol. Why? Because it's permissionless.
There are still standards that they have to abide by, no matter how many there are. Yes.
I mean, the dark web is out there. Tor is out there.
Oh man, come on.
You know, if I wanted to, I could buy a tank right now or a grenade.
This is what I'm saying, man. That's it, man. And again, if you want to use Bitcoin, your Monero that's already been proven to be cracked already. I already showed y'all Monero heads that the tools to break Monero is out. And you can literally pay 16 grand, all right, to use the tool to track Monero. All right. Just like Creo said, you're gonna have to go to the dark web of the financial situation.
but it's possible.
Block with that shit.
But it's possible.
For me, I just want to walk in the Ferrari dealership and say, hey, let me transfer some of this stuff, cash out in CBDCs and be on my way. I'm not trying to be coming through with the fucking a mask on and trying to be some anonymous character. No, it's me. I want my Lamborghini Murcielago very orange. Very orange and metallic. I need every angle to sparkle of that motherfucker. It's me with my name on the plate. I'm not a Monero guy. Okay. All right. I'm stunting on the sheep who didn't understand. I'm stunting on the sheep who did not understand what was going on. Okay. All right. You want to Bitcoin went to infinity, then one Bitcoin should be able to buy the whole Ferrari company.
Exactly. Right. Because one Bitcoin will buy you a Tesla, and probably 4 years from now, Bitcoin will be able to buy you that Ferrari. It might be at the end of the year if we get a Bitcoin ETF, because it's a store of value and it's going to infinity. So you asked me how much Bitcoin should one person have. I suggest having goals, right? Start off with 0.1. If you have 0.1 Bitcoin, you will have more Bitcoin
Whoa. This is not financial advice. This is opinion by Creole, okay? Go ahead. You got it, bro.
If you have 0.1 Bitcoin, you will have more Bitcoin than all of the millionaires in the world would be able to have. So once millionaires realize that they can store their value into the Bitcoin network and move it around free at will, permissionless, it's going to be a war for Satoshis. In governments, look up the Great Hash War, right? We're about to
hash doesn't equal cash.
It does.
No, it does not.
The price
hash rate is at record highs, and the price is tanking.
Ty, historically, price follows hash. It's not going to happen immediately because we have more. We have more energy in the monetary system, so the price is going to follow that.
Why though?
Because miners aren't going to mine something that's not profitable. If more miners are mining it, they're saying there's profitability here at this level. And so once all these oil companies realize they can make more money, mining Bitcoin, it's more efficient. The profits are ridiculous. Corporations are about to wake up to it.
Man, listen, fam.
This chat is hilarious.
Yo, you don't understand, bro. Like, it's funny because, again, I used to be a Bitcoin maximalist. I didn't realize how crazy I sounded.
No, okay. So, lesson burn. Hey, man, I'm gonna convert you. Okay. He says nobody cares about Satoshis. Right now in corporate treasuries, there's over $63 billion from corporations in Bitcoin held in their treasury.
That's not a good thing.
Why?
Because the original purpose for Bitcoin is for be peer-to-peer.
It is.
You got institutions involved.
Everybody's going to get involved, Ty.
Okay, so when they price out, okay, this is another gripe that I got with Bitcoin is that when the top 1% owns most of it, it's the same, it's like duplicating the same system that they try to get rid of.
No, it's not. Because the system we're trying to get rid of is the rich, powerful people printing
the people
wealth.
Who are buying the most Bitcoin.
Listen, Ty. Okay, just hear me out. Let me land. Okay, let me land this plane. Okay, the issue that Bitcoin is solving is the rich, powerful people being able to print money out of thin air and give it to their homies. So if every corporation, every rich person is on a Bitcoin standard, even no matter what level of power you are in the world, you can't create more of it. So what's going to happen is as people build their wealth in Bitcoin and die, right? They're going to pass that Bitcoin on to their children. So their children are going to have to be competent enough in order to keep that wealth. So the wealth disparity in the world is going to equalize over generations because you can't print more of it. It's going to disperse over generations. That's the Bitcoin standard. It's going to usher in a new competent elite. Because now there's so many stupid people in power. There's so many stupid people in power because they are given opportunities and wealth.
I gotta come in. I know you're trying to land the plane, but you landed the plane on one of my biggest points. Is that the early adopters, those early wallets, they have so much Bitcoin that they would immediately become the new ruling elite.
Yes, and that
That
new
is
ruling
not
elite,
going to happen.
that new ruling elite
That is
is
not
intelligent.
going to I need you to understand. Nobody knows who these people, these nerdy neck beard incel motherfuckers who bought thousands of Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying? Tens of thousands of Bitcoins in a fucking basement, right? The banks with the tanks are not gonna let them be the ruling class. I'm sorry.
They have no choice, Ty.
Oh my
There's
God.
going to be a new ruling class
Yo,
on the
the ruling
Bitcoin
class is
standard.
not gonna be the people who stumbled upon Bitcoin from day one. It's just not.
People who you don't stumble upon Bitcoin at 2000 in
They don't even
2013.
know who these people are. Why do you think they won't
We
even?
don't know who the people are ruling the world now.
This is exactly why there will never be a spot ETF on Bitcoin. Nobody knows who owns all of that Bitcoin. They're not going to let them into the American financial traditional establishments. They're not going to let them in there as anonymous people.
Ty, the American financial system is dying. It's dying. These people are about to die physically, and they're about to die when we're talking about monetary policy. And there's already spot Bitcoin ETFs in the world. And America is going to be forced to get on the Bitcoin standard because our enemies are going to use it.
Forced by who? The neckbeard?
Our enemies.
Again, Bitcoin can be tanked at the stroke of a pen by the U.S. president.
But the protocol can't be tanked.
Who gives a fuck about the protocol if nobody's using it?
That's the whole point.
Nobody cares about it.
Ty.
That's the other thing about when you say, oh, it's a scarce entity. It's like, who gives a fuck if it's scarce if nobody wants it? It don't matter if it's 3 Bitcoin in the world. Nobody wants that shit. What's going to be the price?
Ty, it's the most used cryptocurrency.
That's what's going to happen when the sheep realize that Bitcoin is not going to be able to work on these government blockchains. And they'll be like, we would
wrong. You're wrong, Ty.
Okay.
The only CBDC code that has been released by the Fed is UTXO. It's compatible with Bitcoin. The UTXO accounting algorithm is not compatible with Ripple. It's not compatible with Stellar, right? And we can post blogs and headlines till we're blue in the face, but you have to look at the code. The code is saying something entirely different than what's coming out of the Fed's mouth.
Okay. The government is going to allow a bunch of anonymous people who just so happen to stumble upon Bitcoin to become richer than the whole country.
They have no choice.
Man, get the fuck out of here, man.
They have no choice.
Yo,
they don't have a choice.
You understand, bro? This is insane. You said Bitcoin goes to infinity, right?
Yeah.
Ray Sherbert down the street has 20,000 Bitcoin that he mined back in the early days.
Yeah. So what's Ray gonna do?
He becomes richer than the whole country.
Yeah, I mean, we have. Elon Musk may become richer than the whole country. I mean, so that's nothing new.
They're just gonna let that happen?
They have no choice.
Man,
and what's going to happen is Ray Sherbert down the street with 10,000 Bitcoins. Which politician do you think he's going to fund? An anti-Bitcoiner or a Bitcoiner?
Well, it don't matter because they already going to find a way to block that bullshit out.
How? You can't block Bitcoin.
Okay, you're underestimating.
If China couldn't do it, America can't.
You're underestimating the sheep. You think the sheep are going to be more comfortable, have more confidence in Bitcoin than the government?
Absolutely.
Man, get the fuck out of
100%. These clowns in office. So you think once, you know, these
Wait.
states
And
start
again,
getting on a
hold on. The clowns in office don't even count. The people who are making this happen are not elected officials. We talking about the top of the chain. You know, the pyramid, the top of the pyramid. Those people aren't
Yeah.
elected.
Okay, so those people in the top of the pyramid, what is their wealth in?
Everything.
Okay. And all of their wealth is not growing faster than the Bitcoin wealth.
They're in Bitcoin.
So you're talking about the Bitcoin people with 10,000 Bitcoins.
The people who were supposed to be left out of Bitcoin are heavily in Bitcoin.
And that's not going to stop. That's going to increase.
That's not good.
It doesn't matter who uses Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. It's going to infinity. I mean, I think you're really proving my point here.
Bruh.
These rich, wealthy American elite, they're going to start moving their wealth not into CBDCs.
No, I agree. They're gonna be in what's gonna be the background digital assets that are going to be running CBDCs. CBDCs are for poor people. The technology in the background is where all the real shit is going to be happening in the background. You peasants, you get CBDCs.
But Ty,
You don't know what is being swapped around, rearranged, traded in the background to make your transaction happen.
Well, it depends on what code source they use, because the Fed may use an open source code. All right. So you're saying that the wealthy elite is going to invest into whatever protocol the CBDC is. But
Yeah.
if poor people only use CBDCs, that's not a large market. Like that's so
Wait.
wealth.
You don't think the general population of the world is a big market?
No, because they ain't got no money. Like transactions and currency is not the play. The play is, where are rich, wealthy people going to store their wealth?
I just told you.
Okay, and that may be a business play, right? Like, I'm going to invest into this company, or like they may view it as a stock, but they're going to take their profits and put it into Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the store of value, of global wealth.
It's a store of value, just like it was a peer-to-peer medium of exchange. They just gonna keep changing Bitcoin until it just turns into whatever people want until the next 5 years.
I mean,
every 5 years is gonna change what Bitcoin's utility purpose is.
Right, because Bitcoin has an infinite amount of utility and purpose, and we're just scratching the surface of what the network is able to do. Like, currency and store of wealth is just the first step in what Bitcoin is able to do. Because I can hash anything to the Bitcoin network. I can hash a photo, I can hash a video, I can hash a text message. People have proposed to other people using the Bitcoin network, right? So every industry is going to find a way to utilize this immutable ledger that's indestructible. It's not just about money. And this is why I say Bitcoin is going to infinity, because we're just looking at it right now as a store of value or a currency, but it's going to be so much more. It's going to be so much more. You know, your prescription to your eyeglasses may be hashed on the Bitcoin blockchain as a health record in the future.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll
you know, money is just the first app.
I'm pretty sure they'll have something else.
Not that last 5,000 years.
Listen, fam. Listen, bro. Like, to say people are just they're gonna build on top of Bitcoin's base layer. All right. What are the biggest projects that are built on top of Bitcoin's base layer?
Okay, I can name a couple. Liquid, of course, we got Lightning. Now we have the Stacks network. Stacks, go look that up. STX.
Yo, chill out, man. That's Patreon content, man. Relax.
You know,
Relax.
the smart contracts are being built on top of Bitcoin. And even city coins are the Miami coin.
Patreon content. Skip. Moving right along.
Okay, all right. Join the Patreon. We talk about a lot of bleeding edge stuff as far as what's going on in not just Bitcoin, but all cryptos. But it's just the beginning, bro.
And like, I'm sorry you feel that way, fam.
It's just the beginning.
I think it's just the beginning too. And as soon as Biden signed this executive order, everybody gonna know what time it is, and they're gonna move accordingly.
Biden might not even be alive in a week, the way he's looking.
But the banks with the tanks, who were here before he was born, all right, it's gonna be moving right along.
Well. Yeah, but all banks are going to go to zero unless they adopt a Bitcoin standard.
Man,
like these corporations and these banks are going to be forced to have Bitcoin on their balance sheets because banks aren't going to trust each other. That's really what led to the 2008 crash, is banks not lending to each other because they didn't believe what each bank had on their balance sheet was real. But if I have Bitcoin on my balance sheet, you know it's for real. You know exactly the value that my corporation, company, or bank has because I got Bitcoin. That's the new age we're going to be moving into.
Yo, I heard so much craziness over Millstream today. Like, to me, I just, again, we have these discussions, but we are very early. Very early. People are saying all cryptos are going away next week. I'm like, what?
I gotta go check that out. That's
crackpot. No, you don't. Shout out to my nigga Ramil, but yeah. Bro, so it's just like, and again, if you've been in this for a while, right, then people, they just have no clue on what's going on.
No.
And a lot of these big YouTube channels are responsible for the ignorance of people. A lot of these big social media people, they are responsible for the crazy, wacky shit.
100%.
Right? Now, I understand that Creo is a Bitcoin maximalist, but Creo, and Michelle, the other half of Untwisting the Game, they are very knowledgeable on the Polkadot ecosystem. They're very knowledgeable on other digital assets. All right. Some of these people I listen to is just like, what? You think none of this technology is going to be useful anywhere? It's like,
it's going to take everything over. Every aspect of our lives.
Right. People don't understand that blockchain is the new world order end game. Total domination on you niggas.
Yep.
All right. So you sit around here playing stupid, not trying to have the discussions, not trying to understand anything. You want to talk about lost in the sauce, nigga, you're going to be done. And your children are going to be done.
Yep. And your children are going to be looking at you asking, why didn't you pay attention? You had YouTube videos, all this information on your fingertips. And this is what pisses me off about the right clickers and people who think NFTs are a scam. NFTs are going to take over. This is just, art is just the first industry.
Yeah, drop the link to y'all channel in there, man. Real talk, man. I'm glad y'all got monetized and whatnot yet. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's that must be Michelle.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. And again, what you gonna say? Well, I'm sorry, son. I was worried about these hoes. Sorry, son. I'm trying to figure out the relationship between men and women. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this silly ass shit. You just be like, that's why I just be arguing with people like, y'all just want us to stop talking about women. Y'all trying to make us stop talking about women. Like, no, bro. Like, you don't understand, nigga. You're gonna be looking crazy.
It's gonna be a lot of people hurting. A lot of people hurting.
I don't think people fully understand when this shit comes. Okay. Again, whether it be because, again, like I know it's people who I don't think that Bitcoin is going away. I don't think that Bitcoin is a bad play long term. But what I'm saying is that if you do not understand that the regulations is coming, that this is what Bitcoin is and what could happen with Bitcoin, because again, some of the things you talk about being built on top of the Bitcoin base layer, we have invested in.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I'm interested in this shit. And to me, it's like, okay, if these people are fucking with the Bitcoin base layer, Bitcoin is gonna have a use case with government systems. It's not going to zero.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I'm not completely on some, just ignore this, ignore that. You know what I'm saying? It get crazy when niggas say, Bitcoin going to infinity. That's when you got to fucking hit the brakes. You know what I'm saying? Because Creo and Mr. G and Anthony Pompliano and the rest of these guys, I heard like, yo, everything else is trash. It's like, wait a minute. You know?
And that's why I don't even consider myself a Bitcoin maximalist, quote unquote. Because
once you cross that line and say Bitcoin is going to be the world's reserve currency, there's no more maximalism than that. You are a maximalist.
Like I can invest in multiple different projects. Like there's going to be blockchains out there that do very well for the long term and have a lot of use case. But they're not going to be world global reserve money for the next 5,000 years.
Yeah, not like CBDCs.
Bro. Oh, man. The only way CBDCs, the only way they survive is if they use the Bitcoin settlement layer.
Man, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm telling you.
That's the only way. They're
not going to let these strangers who are these anonymous figures who hold tons and tons of Bitcoin. They're not going to imagine being richer than a country, a first world country. It's not.
That's the future we're going to move into. As we become more globalized and global economies, right? There are going to be people that have more wealth than whole first world countries. It's going to happen. There's going to be trillionaires.
I believe that there are going to be trillionaires. And the homie Mike V was talking about space exploration and mining, like meteors and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And like bringing back precious metals from outer space is going to be huge in the future.
Yeah, but you can't get Bitcoin from outer space. So that's why it's the hardest asset. Because nowhere in the universe are you going to be able to find more than 21 million Bitcoins. That's why the price is going to infinity, because every other asset we can create more. You know what I mean?
I'm going with no. I'm going with no. Like, it's just not gonna happen, man.
Oh man!
What they say? Why would people want their Bitcoin tied to a central bank? That's a question for you.
CBDC time.
So Coolin, what's up, man? I guess I can try to answer your question. There are going to be some people out there that have their BTCs in banks, right? Custodied in banks. Now, as far as central banks building on top of Bitcoin, That's definitely going to happen.
Yes, because again, I did whole live streams about people crying to Big Daddy government about their keys, crying to Big Daddy government about exchange hacks. Yo, people want a big dad. That's what I'm saying. The banks ain't going nowhere. They want somebody else to be responsible for their finances.
But I think in the near future, people are going to trust Cash App more than they trust JP Morgan Chase.
And Cash App had 1099 forms sent out. Okay. Mm-hmm. So they could collect taxes for guess who? Guess who they was collecting taxes for? Take a wild guess, Creole.
For the government. Yes, I understand.
Damn right.
I understand that. But you know, if I don't spend my Bitcoin, I don't have to pay taxes.
Okay, so you plan on never spending the Bitcoin, man? Get the fuck out of here, man. See,
I have a certain amount that I will never spend, but see, you won't have to spend your Bitcoin, right? So right now I can use my Bitcoin and get a 1% loan in fiat, right? I didn't have to spend that Bitcoin in order to get cash. So in the future, you're not going to have to spend your Bitcoin. Just like Jeff Bezos doesn't have to cash out his stocks, he can borrow against it.
Well, that's the play. That's my play. That's my long-term play for a lot of projects that I'm invested in as well is staking and staking and just getting loans off of it. But again, like there we go, Mr. G. Oh, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go.
And Excalibur said, "How will you pay the loan back?" I don't have to pay the loan back if it's 1%, right? Because my crypto grows at an exponential rate.
Mr. You know, hit the link. Don't
Mr. G.
Don't dodge the smoke. Don't dodge the smoke. Don't dodge the smoke, Mr. G. He been listening too.
Yeah. What's up, Mr. G? Come on in. But Excalibur, I don't have to sell crypto if I can, get a fiat loan, put it in USDC, make 8% on it, and I'm only paying 1% on the loan. So that's a spread of 7%.
Yes,
it pays back itself. The loan pays back itself.
And in the Patreon group, we actually went over a U.S. Financial House Committee hearing on stable coins because guess what? Again, crypto is not going anywhere. Okay, a lot of this DeFi is going to live on, but you better believe when you cash out, it's going to be in CBDC and taxes will be on that shit.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Look who it is.
Yo, what up?
What's up?
Man, you sound like you're down the hallway, man.
I'm waiting on a new microphone. Hold up. Let me.
Yeah, get a little bit closer to the laptop. I can. It sounds good. Just a little low.
Now, what up, fellas? What's going on with it,
Mr. G?
Mr. G, I got your comrade right here, just he was sitting here telling us how Bitcoin is going to infinity.
Well, yeah, essentially, if we have modern monetary theory taking place, where it's like you have people that think money just comes out of nowhere and that the government could just print money unchecked. Yeah, Bitcoin is definitely going to go to infinity.
See?
Give me a scenario where it doesn't, in that scenario, because modern monetary theory.
All right, thank you, Mr. G. I appreciate you coming.
You clown.
I can tell you why it's not going to infinity because guess what? The U.S. government seems to have a lot to say and a lot of pull with Bitcoin. All right.
You're talking about the price again and not the protocol?
Right. The price. Yeah. Because again, the protocol
price doesn't matter.
The protocol right now is irrelevant.
It's everything.
The protocol is irrelevant right now. The
It's
price
everything.
of everything is still a speculative asset. Nobody's running a Fortune 500 company on top of any of Bitcoin's base layer. Nobody is depending on that base. So it is in speculation phase.
Well, yeah. It's
Compared to what? So
compared
Bitcoin,
to the standard that I laid out, nobody's depending on the base layer of Bitcoin to do anything.
what are you talking about, Ty? There's hundreds of billions of dollars worth of companies and assets.
Whose company is ran on the base layer of Bitcoin?
Second layer solutions.
Whose company is being ran off the base layer of Bitcoin?
Right now, the Lightning Network, Liquid.
That's not a company.
No companies are being ran on the Bitcoin blockchain, Ty. Come on.
Okay, so therefore it's speculation.
Yeah, but companies have them on their balance sheet. So you have like, let's just say a couple companies like Tesla, like MicroStrategy and Tesla are just two of the major public companies.
They're in the red right now.
Have Bitcoin on their balance sheet right now.
They're in the red right now.
Everybody's in the red, Ty.
Everyone's in the
No,
red.
I'm not in the red. Don't put me in there with these peons.
The fact is, if you hold Bitcoin for multiple years, I believe it's 2 years or more, you're in the green.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
we're talking about short-term price action. Yeah, go ahead, Mr. G.
Oh no, I'm just saying. Yeah, you're in the red if you're looking at things in the dollar, right? So if you're looking at things in the dollar, the yen, the pound, the ruble, essentially, like we have to really stop looking at things in the dollar. We can't do that because that's the con game.
No.
And that's where Bitcoin is.
Wait a minute, Mr. G. Don't get on this platform talk about we gotta stop looking at things from a dollar, bro. No. No. Okay. I get it. Y'all want everybody to live in this delusional Satoshi world that y'all got in y'all head, bro. But no.
I'll put it like this. Look, check this out. So what we have here is we have a ripped $100 bill. Is this $50? So if I was to take this to the bank, would this be $50, sir? I'm speaking to the both of you and everyone in the chat. Would this be essentially $50? Or
No.
the fact that this is worthless? This is toilet paper. This is basically government tickets, Chuck E. Cheese tokens, whatever you want to call them, that basically dictate how much you pay for a house, what time you get up in the morning, where you take your kids to school, where you can live, what you can eat. And they dictate the interest rate coming from one government body called the Federal Reserve. We all know where this is going, right? They have to put a cap on inflation. They have to find a way to cover up this mess that they caused that they haven't fixed. So, I mean, I do agree with you, Ty, when you say they're going to have to find a way to introduce CBDCs or some kind of...
They're going to crack this whole shit, bro. Think about this. The amount of debt and inflation, there is no solution.
There is no solution.
Nobody can say... And this was, what was it? This was like 8 years ago. People was like, we are 3 generations deep in debt. This is before all the stimulus packages and shit, right? So that's what I'm saying. If we was 3 generations deep in debt, we talking about your great grandkids would be responsible for pulling us out of debt. Bro, there's nothing you can do with that, which is why they crashed this whole shit. They don't have a choice.
So Ty, what happens to the price of Bitcoin when this great reset happens?
Well, first of all, when the great reset happens, people are going to run to Big Daddy government for the solution that they already have laid out for them. That's what's going to happen.
So the sheep are going to go to...
Nobody's going to be rushing to a fucking Bitcoin ATM when this shit collapses.
Okay, so let's look at...
Need to put in it.
Ty, let's just look at history. What happened in Afghanistan? People rushed to Bitcoin. What happened in Syria? People rushed to Bitcoin. What happened in Turkey? People rushed to Bitcoin. So this great global reset,
No, wait a minute.
You think people are going to move their wealth into CBDCs?
Now, they ran to Bitcoin because their own currency was shit. That is
All
why.
currency is shit,
El
Ty.
Salvador's currency is shit. This is why they had to go to Bitcoin.
Wait, let me
Let's stop
can I jump
acting.
in?
Wait. Let's stop acting like these people like just ran to Bitcoin on some fucking. Oh, we need Bitcoin. No, their
Mr. G,
own
let me
Zimbabwe's
just
currency is
Let him finish.
shit.
yeah.
These people are going. Think about this. A bag of rocks is better than their currency. The bag of rocks is not like the end all solution. This is what I'm saying. Just because they went to Bitcoin doesn't mean that it was like the total savior. These people would love to have US fucking dollars instead of Bitcoin, but they didn't have access to US dollars. That's why.
The national.
Wait a minute. I guarantee you a lot of that Bitcoin these people ran to, they cashed out into guess what? Big Daddy.
A currency that lost 90% of its value. So the national currency for El Salvador is actually the US dollar. So I mean the US dollar is trash.
No. They had their own their currency was not the US dollar.
100% it is.
But it was turned into legal tender, I believe, in the late 90s. And
why did they have to? Okay, so let's do this. Why did they became legal tender? Why did they have to turn to Big Daddy dollars in the 90s?
Because they were going through a currency crisis. Now, don't get me started on the currency was shit. Yeah, it was crashing in compared to the dollar, right? And then when the dollar became, and when the dollar, now the dollar is crashing compared to Bitcoin. Ha ha ha.
No. The dollar yield curve is telling on Bitcoin right now.
Bro, what are you talking about? $1 is.
A strong dollar makes a weak Bitcoin. I can show you the correlation.
The dollar's been in a trend rising high for 10 years. And Bitcoin still smoked it, right? The dollar's actually retracing back higher, and yes, Bitcoin is trending down.
Okay, thank you.
This is a short-term trade. This is short-term TA, though. This is not a long-term technical analysis. At best, it's maybe 5 years. Now, Bitcoin is thinking about 2035 and better, right? Because that's how these currency cycles play out. Now, Todd, hear me out. When the dollar became legal tender in El Salvador, nobody cared. They were going through their currency crisis out there.
It makes sense.
They passed a law, right? They passed a law, and this is not anything new for countries like El Salvador, right? Countries like this, they essentially adopt new currencies as forms of legal tender to basically get access to dollars. So you're right. They need a free-floating currency that is frictionless, that is permissionless, that is global, and there's no other currency to do that in this modern era than Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is its own standalone network. You don't have to have a love for the network, but the fundamentals are still there. You can still use the technology for large payments, and there's no third party, and they adopted it as money. So that's very big right there. So they're already, as a country, legitimizing Bitcoin. I can go take my phone with my Lightning wallet and go and buy food in El Salvador. All right, so it's being
Lightning wallet.
No, it's a Lightning wallet's an open source. Right? Yes, they're open source. I can create my own Lightning wallet, hook it up to my node. I use my node as basically as the transmission device. That's it. It's not using a third party even in that section, in that sense. Because if you download a wallet, you're trusting their servers, you're trusting their window to peer.
Yes, a lot of centralization on the Lightning network.
Yes, there is. It's coming from
which is the opposite of the purpose of Bitcoin.
Well, let me explain where the Lightning centralization comes from, because you can just say that Lightning centralization, but it's Lightning Labs. So Lightning Labs spearheaded a lot of the research into Lightning. So they have a lot of nodes up. They have a few of the nodes. Like I'm on Lightning.
Right. Wait. Is Lightning Labs beholden to the government?
Not at all. They're open source. They're crowdsourced. They're crowdfunded. They're self-sustaining platform.
No. They have to abide by U.S. regulations. Lightning Labs has to abide by U.S. regulations. Yes, they do.
In what way?
What do you mean, in what way?
Explain.
Okay, so for instance, if you run a node on the Lightning Network, you are responsible for the records kept for every transaction that comes through your node. You have to relinquish that to a U.S. entity.
What law says that?
Because you are labeled as a money changer.
There are no laws on the books currently that say that Lightning node operate as a money transmitter.
All right.
Yeah,
That
was news to me.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, we got it, man. Let's do it.
Yeah, continue on. I'll bring it to you. I didn't want to have to do this.
Yo, okay, so I'm gonna land the plane on this one, right? So the fact that El Salvador has adopted currencies like the dollar before because they have a problem, and now we're in the modern era, we need a frictionless currency that can be passed digitally. And on top of that, there are no other currencies, or essentially currencies with their own interoperable platforms to pass their currency. I mean, a lot of you guys, they like to say XRP and everything like that, but I'm not sure if XRP transactions can be censored or not. I haven't looked, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure if you're like a dissident or like a outlier from the government, your transaction could probably be censored on that blockchain as well.
100%.
So the thing with Bitcoin, it's impossible to censor the transaction. A lot of governments tried to hard kill Bitcoin in 2013. China, Germany, I believe the United States as well, tried in different ways to like cripple the Bitcoin network by severing the nodes and things like that, trying to make like two blockchain, causing intentional forks. You can read all of this stuff in the block size war, which it details all of the battles that Bitcoin had to go through as far as like corporations trying to take the narrative. We got Bitcoin Cash because of that, and there should have been Bitcoin Cash should have won because essentially the small blocks is what everybody wanted. They wanted to be able to use Bitcoin as a cash, like how you would normally criticize Bitcoin, saying like, oh, the cash experiment failed. What you're speaking about is actually Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash was an experiment that it's actually failing right now because the price of Bitcoin Cash has crashed versus the price of Bitcoin. So the market has spoken and said that the original Bitcoin is Bitcoin because that's the concept. If Bitcoin Cash achieved the consensus amongst people, then it would be Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin that we know today would no longer be Bitcoin. It would actually be Bitcoin Classic or something like that, right? Because the network with the most hash rate assumes the title of Bitcoin because the network has adopted it. That means I'm unplugging my miner, I'm plugging into that pool. It's still going to be SHA-256, but I'm just basically running it on a different algorithm. I'll stop doing what I'm doing, mining on that chain, because that chain is not yielding me any economic benefit. Like my wealth, anything I have stored on there, my savings essentially are non-existent because no one is supporting that network. This new network, if there's a fork, would be the new Bitcoin. But that failed. That never worked because in 2017, when the fork wars happened, the miners essentially decided, and this is where people say Bitcoin is centralized. Bitcoin was so centralized, Bitcoin Cash should have won because it was essentially everything that Coinbase, Gemini, a lot of these exchanges, OKX, they wanted these things to happen so Bitcoin could be like readily adopted for the market. They wanted to sell Bitcoin to people, but like the small blockers, they said, no, we have to look decades ahead and look at it as a base layer for money. So it's like Bitcoin, you could say it's better than the US 10-year treasury bond. So that's the competition. It's not the dollar, it's Bitcoin against the US 10-year treasury bond. You know, that's my analysis. So like the dollar, it's constantly going up and down in value in the last 10 years. Yes. Oh. So in the last 10 years, we've had the dollar go up in value. I think we've hit more than like a peak of 100. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure we've hit a lot higher on the dollar index in the last decade than we have now. We're not at a peak, nowhere near the peak in the dollar index. So yeah, I expect a strong dollar, but that's just a sign of the con game continuing, right? Because money is confidence. It's just, you guys just saw like this, you know, accidentally this dollar, this $100 bill just happened to, you know, go into two pieces, right? But that's a sign of confidence. That means you are confident that this thing right here, this paper will buy me bread. Tomorrow will pump me gas. And the smartest individuals now with the most wealth have taken the money out of currency units and are putting it in hard assets, gold, silver, land, and that sort of thing. Some people looking at their house as real estate, but that's just basically on commodity prices, because if you think of
No.
okay. It's
Shout out to Rocco Killer. I appreciate the 5 on it, bro. Hey, listen. Am I getting like an echo?
No, you good.
Okay. Now, Rocco Killer, I appreciate the 5 on it. And for what you're saying is people taking money out of cash and putting it in assets, I agree. But what's happening right now with Bitcoin is people are taking money out of Bitcoin.
I mean, everybody's taking money out of risky assets right now. But one thing's for certain: Bitcoin always creates higher lows.
It is speculation. That is why. That's what I'm saying.
All investments are speculation.
No, that's not true.
What isn't?
Name one investment that's not a speculation.
Investments that go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just piggybacking off what a Creole said. Name one investment that's not a speculation. You build a house, essentially, you're speculating that it's going to be still standing in 10 years. Everything, every action in the economy or any economy is, in fact, a speculation, or you're taking risk and you're managing the risk.
Right. So let's do this again, because there are things that you can invest in that are needed. Okay, this is why I said not there. The base layer of Bitcoin is not needed by anybody. Nobody's running any company on top of the base layer. This is why I'm saying like it is speculative, because what else can you pin on it besides the value of it?
It moves $12 billion worth of value each and every day. It mines 900 Bitcoins. That's what it creates $34 million.
What company is depending on Bitcoin? Like if Bitcoin
that's like saying what company is dependent on the internet?
Coinbase depends on Bitcoin. That's one of their number one.
Coinbase does not run on Bitcoin.
No, they're not running on the Bitcoin network
protocol.
No, but it's a product that they offer on their platform.
Right. But what I'm saying is it's not running anything.
What okay, this question inherently doesn't make any sense.
That's why it's speculative, because nobody needs it. It could literally be worth nothing. That's
like saying that who's running a business on the internet? Like what? The question doesn't make sense. It's about the ecosystem. It's about the infinite amount of microeconomies that the Bitcoin has created.
There are a lot of companies that depend on the internet.
Right, and Bitcoin will be larger than the internet.
The internet went down. So go ahead. What you say?
Bitcoin will be larger than the internet.
Oh my God.
The internet.
Explain what you mean by that, Creole. Elaborate.
With the upcoming future of Web3, we already know that the internet is going to be on a blockchain, right? There's going to be no other blockchain that's going to be bigger than Bitcoin. So Bitcoin inherently is going to be larger than the internet itself as far as its monetary system. Like all bonds, all stocks, all currency is going to run on some type of blockchain system.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is nothing is running on Bitcoin
yet.
That's why it is a speculative asset. That's why.
Is it really, when you look at the history of its price action?
Right. It's based on speculation.
No, but there's if Bitcoin is just a transfer protocol, what do we need businesses to be operating on it? It's just a transfer protocol. Businesses can operate on it by just passing messages on that network. It's just an uncensorable network.
Okay, so like I said, what business is depending on the base layer of Bitcoin?
That's like saying what business is dependent on the base layer of fiat
Bitcoin
currency.
doesn't work. Coinbase doesn't work. If the base layer of Bitcoin crashes today, Coinbase stock goes down tonight. Everything
Coinbase still operates. Coinbase
they operate.
Coinbase still operates.
But their business model essentially has failed because cryptocurrency, as we know it, has failed. If Bitcoin fails, cryptocurrency, as we know it, has failed.
It's done.
No, it's not, man.
All right, that's a matter of opinion, and I
This is kind of a new lane that you just opened up. If Bitcoin fails, everything else fails.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm actually writing down some points to back that. Just give me 1 second because that's
Let me jump in here, Mr. G.
Wait, let me put this on there because Bitcoin has the most trading pairs in the markets.
Mm-hmm.
So based on price action, not based on whether Bitcoin fails or not, I think that even then it wouldn't do what it would do. It wouldn't crash the rest of them because there's also USDC pairs. There's also Ethereum pairs. Like even I can't even say that it would completely crash everything else because there's other trading pairs.
But every cryptocurrency is denominated in Bitcoin. So you're going to want to own the value token.
Again, and other things too.
If
USDC Ethereum pairs as well. That's what I'm saying. It's not.
But if Bitcoin fails, the entire theory of blockchain crumbles.
No,
like Bitcoin is blockchain.
The white paper is it's the blockchain.
The white paper is already proven to be discarded.
Bro, that's your famous argument.
Because it's true.
It's not true.
In fact, hey, Mr. G, I'm glad you are here because we was talking about the third party. How do you feel about what happened in Canada? That's the third party I was trying to explain to you.
Well, those are all exchange wallets.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm telling you. The government is the third parties.
But Bitcoin was
because no. Let me finish.
Yeah.
That they managed to seize they didn't seize.
Who is they?
The Canadian government. They use FinTrack, which is FinTrack. That's their branch of monitoring their banking system. They passed a law saying that if any citizens are found to be within like dissidents or anything like that, they can seize your bank account. Okay. Now, with that being said, they managed to identify donors that donated to the Freedom Convoy. Maybe they donate $500 or something like that. They managed to locate the specific cryptocurrency addresses from the exchanges that they sent them to. And if people sent crypto, Bitcoin,
because you know why?
Wait, let me finish. If they sent
because it's not peer to peer. That's why they were able to do that.
Well, that's wrong because they managed to that was just using as a crowdfunding platform. So if they have a crowdfunding platform, that's just a means of aggregating payments. Mind you,
again, that's a third party. Nobody is doing transactions with Bitcoin without a third party. This is what I'm trying to explain to you.
That's not true.
It's hard.
If adoption has to happen through dealing with a third party, the whole idea of peer-to-peer is out the window.
Wrong.
No.
And here's why. Those transactions, they were not peer-to-peer. You need a third party like an exchange to
exactly. That's how Bitcoin is moving.
Well, to get larger payments, mind you. So there was an app called Tallycoin. They managed to get $1 million of Bitcoin towards the trucker convoy and everything like that. Now you need crowdfunding platforms to match, let's say, makers and takers or buyers and sellers. Like exchanges, they're basically just a platform to match makers and takers or buyers and sellers. So all these
that's not peer-to-peer.
No, it's not. But you can still send from one address to another. But no one.
But it's not peer-to-peer. That's what I'm telling you.
True. But if no one knows who to send crypto to or Bitcoin to, essentially, then basically the problem that was cut off was the ability to crowdfund. You can still crowdfund crypto. You can still crowdfund Bitcoin addresses completely 100% without being censored. What I'm saying is that your address, essentially the address that was receiving the funds, got censored. So if that address essentially wants to move funds to an exchange, they get blacklisted, they could be turned away, or they could have the funds kind of like seized.
But seized by who?
Well, by the exchange, because Jesse Powell from Kraken exchange.
Yeah, Jesse Powell said, listen,
yeah,
banks with the tanks got their foot on our neck, and there's nothing we can do to save you sheep, okay? So if you think that dealing with, if you think we are going to be on your side, you got us fucked up.
Ty, and what else did he say in that Twitter post? Get your coins off of the exchanges.
What did he say?
Get your coins off the exchange. Yep.
Right.
So,
but guess what? Even okay, if you get your coins off the exchanges, how would that help people who are sending crypto to a third party?
There is no third party. There's only two parties. If I'm sending you crypto, there is no third party, Ty.
Okay, where did you get the Bitcoin from? This is the third party. This is what I'm telling you.
I mined it.
People are mining the crypto. Stop it.
No, I'm giving you an example of if you wanted me. I
know both parties will have to have mined it to eliminate a third party.
Not necessarily. You could perform a good or a service and get paid in Bitcoin. Now, the Bitcoin where you received it prior from the transaction could have been mined or bought from an exchange for fiat. Right? You can still. We're in a time where you can still take pieces of
Let's stop playing dumb. Okay. The Bitcoin is coming from an exchange. People are not mining.
That's not the only way, Ty.
Okay, what's the other way to do a straight peer-to-peer transaction without mining?
Ty, this argument is so
peer-to-peer. That's the problem. You're basically boxing in the definition of what peer-to-peer transaction.
Peer-to-peer is two peers.
Hey, Ty, this argument is so silly because
it's not.
Because what were people doing before exchanges? What were people doing before exchanges, Ty? What were people doing before exchanges? Because Bitcoin was working before Coinbase.
True.
Right. And again, they were using things like Mt. Gox, which got hacked. Okay. They were using third parties.
It doesn't matter, Ty.
In fact, you were buying directly from miners.
So you're saying, I guess you bringing this question up because you're saying governments can turn off exchanges? Why does this question matter?
Most of the transactions are happening.
Why does it matter?
Because what happened in Canada happened.
Okay, and then what happened after that?
He's kind of right, because most of the transactions that occur on a lot of these blockchains are on exchange because we're still in like a speculative phase where people are investing, you have traders getting in and out and everything like that. So it's
only going to be worse. These are going to be more loyal to governments and central banks.
That's a matter of confidence, and that's a matter of
no, that's a matter of fact. It's already happening.
Okay, I'll give you an example.
CEOs are coming out right now and saying, hey, if you think we got your back, you got us fucked up. And in fact, was it 3 years ago, Coinbase was giving up people's social security numbers and shit to the IRS?
Yeah, but I mean, in the same sense, he told everyone, listen, protect yourself and get your funds off the exchange. So, I mean,
well, he can say whatever he wants, but that doesn't change the fact that most of the transactions are happening with third parties involved.
I just don't see why that matters.
It doesn't matter. When most of these exchanges facilitate the transfers, I believe a lot of exchanges, they double as payment processors as well. But you don't need to use an exchange to process a payment for crypto.
We know you don't need the exchanges, but how are most cryptos being exchanged?
Ty. I mean, there's decentralized exchanges out there.
But yeah, you can't count out.
And I'll tell you this: people are not using decentralized exchanges like that
because they don't have to.
That is false.
No, people are not using these, what is it, pancake swaps and shit like that. The average person is not using that.
Because they don't have to.
Only the savvy crypto people are using decentralized exchanges.
This is true.
Hey, wait a minute. Did we just have a centralized exchange fold to government pressure not too long ago too?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to happen, but that doesn't matter because I can use a VPN and use any exchange in the world. Oh my God. So unless all governments across the world is going to ban exchanges at the same time.
You think that adoption is happening that way?
What does it matter?
It doesn't stop it from
operating. It doesn't matter. If you think that the run-of-the-mill person that gets into crypto is going through VPNs, going through decentralized exchanges, and they go through. No, that is people are downloading coins.
How are people buying XRP?
People are downloading Robinhood. People are downloading Cash App, and they are buying.
How they still get XRP, Todd?
How are people still buying XRP?
What do you mean? How are people still buying XRP?
How are people in your chat right now still buying XRP?
Yes, they're going through either BitTrue or Uphold or any other entity. Yes.
So what's your point?
My point is that's my point.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the SEC does. It doesn't matter because we can still buy it.
No. The president is about to put an executive order in that is going to affect the price of Bitcoin because these exchanges that most people use are going to bend the knee to the banks with the tanks. I'm telling you.
Will we be able to get it cheaper on Tuesday, sir, when the banks open?
What are you talking about?
Will we be able to buy Bitcoin for cheaper when the banks open on Tuesday, sir?
Well, yeah, people are going to be buying crypto from banks, yes.
I just want to know because you said the price is going down.
I'll say that again. People are going to buy crypto with banks. And they're going to, in fact, listen, in fact, when people get this junk mail from their bank saying, hey, we now custody NFTs. People gonna be like, what? Open up your Chase Bank app or whatever and send your NFTs directly to this. They're gonna love it. The sheep are going to love it.
What does it matter? That's how
adoption is gonna happen. That's why it matters.
No, the sheep ain't got no money. It's what the corporations are going to do. Corporations have more money than banks, Ty.
Okay, again, thank you for making my point that the corporations who have all the money, they are in crypto. They are going to sway this thing towards the central banks.
Absolutely not. So you think corporations are going to give up power?
Yeah, how does
they're not going to give up power because they are in power with the powers that be.
But they can have more power custodying and creating their own digital economies. They're not going to give that up. Corporations are going to defeat
going to be
banks.
a separate digital economy from the.
It already is. It's going to be an Amazon coin. It's going to be a Google coin.
Not. Yo, you gotta stop saying stuff like that.
It's going to be an Amazon coin. It's going to be a Google coin. It's going to be a Facebook coin. It's gonna be a Thai coin.
Okay, and guess what? If you want to get out of those assets, guess what's gonna have to happen? Take a wild guess. Yeah, that's right. I'll tell you. Since y'all don't know, I'll tell you. You're gonna have to cash out in CBDCs where taxes will be collected.
Not necessarily if a programmer can make a.
Wait a minute. Okay, so Mr. G, you are, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know which one of you Looney Tunes said that. That there's not going to be any more taxes. Was that true?
I said that.
Okay, Creole.
It's already happening.
Listen.
It's already happening.
Wait.
Like I'm not making this up.
I know you really believe it. That's why I'm laughing. Listen. Listen.
It's already happening, bro. It's like
Bro,
When?
bro, listen. Yo, hey, listen, this is what I said, like, Creole be going off the Henny. You have to forgive him sometimes. Sometimes you got to double check to make sure you heard what you heard.
Right, so for people who don't know, I mean, you're holding a phone. You're probably looking at a computer right now. Just type in mindcitycoins.com, right? That Miami is using Miami coin right now, right?
This is Patreon,
And
by the way. Being
what?
heavily blessed right now.
The mayor of Miami has already said his plan is to eliminate taxes using the Bitcoin settlement layer in mining city coins. So my point is, which politician is going to get reelected?
Not the goofball that thinks he's going to.
He's already doing it though.
I don't think he's basing his election off of that.
But let's just game theory here. You have a politician that's saying, I have a way to eliminate city and state taxes. Who is going to get elected, Ty?
I'm sorry.
It's just, you just got to think it out.
Nah, I am thinking it out. That's what I'm saying. Like this
Let
whole.
me jump in on this one. Let me jump in, fellas. So I'm just people in the chat and everything like that. A lot of people, I find that they're not really good studies of history and not really good with, like, essentially computers.
Oh, we are very good at history. That's why we know the banks with the tanks have been in control for over 150 plus years. We know how this shit goes. Right. They plan the disaster and they bring the solution. We see it happening. That is why we are very good, bruh. We understand history very well.
Okay, understood. So when we have monetary policy and computer science colliding, right, we get CBDCs, right? We get a lot of these things that they're new concepts. We get DeFi, we get Bitcoin and everything like that. So we're in a really strange time in history, right? So Creole is right. The corporations are not going to give up power. They're not going to give up all
Nobody is going to give up power.
Yeah, okay, so if we have, like, let's say...
they would, okay, listen, again, they would rather blow the whole earth up before they let this decentralized financial freedom society take place.
So essentially a deflationary crash, correct?
I don't even know what kind of crash it is going to be. It's going to have to be
that's the future that you're planning for. Essentially, if you're saying that they would let the system crash, that would mean it would be a deflationary crash. That means we would default on the debts, and then we wouldn't be making any good on any bond payments. And
all the world will be all these central banks will be in agreement with starting over with a new system. Yes,
Bitcoin would still be working.
Okay, Bitcoin will still be working, but on what blockchain?
The Bitcoin blockchain, of course.
Right, but who's going to determine where Bitcoin is accepted?
Well, if I'm a farmer, essentially, what you're saying is true because the world has already crashed, right? And we're going through monetary renegotiations, right? So if I'm a farmer and I grow cattle, chickens, pigs, I'll sell my products for Bitcoin. There's already people doing it now with people already going.
Yes, and they're
not necessarily.
They're not holding on to Bitcoin.
That's not necessarily true because you have ranchers essentially that they sell their cattle for Bitcoin, right?
Okay, they sell their cattle. Okay, look, hear me out. They sell their cattle for Bitcoin. Okay, they have Bitcoin. Do they then go and buy the goods and services that they need to run their business with Bitcoin?
Here's where it gets interesting.
They're cashing out into fiat.
Here's where it gets interesting. So you can run your business very, very lean on fiat. You can run your business on a Bitcoin standard, right? So livestock, I just gave you an example of how the economy is functioning. Livestock is a good that can regenerate, okay? So it's a regenerative good, so I don't have to go anybody to essentially, I can make two heads of cattle and make more heads of cattle. That's how it works. So on a system like that, you don't need government fiat because the good itself is the cattle. So I'll sell the cattle for whatever value that I've denominated. So if I want to sell my cattle for Bitcoin, I don't care if you pay me in fiat and I transfer it to Bitcoin. Essentially, upon receiving of the payment, yes, I can change it into Bitcoin. But essentially, not everyone is cashing out into fiat. What Bitcoin gives you is the opportunity to cash out a little bit in fiat and a lot in fiat. And yes, farming. Black people farm. Don't get it in your head that we don't know how to farm, my people, right? Because that's where a lot of society started from. So yeah, livestock, cattle. Cattle now is worth like, let's say like $10,000 a head, roughly. I don't know.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is this: you're not running a farm off of Bitcoin. You are cashing out into fiat.
You can, like I said, a farm is a business.
No.
The opportunity.
You are cashing out into fiat.
Not necessarily. If I want to purchase
Show me the farm that's being ran off of strictly Bitcoin.
I don't know any. I can't tell you any. But I'll give you an example of how a business model can be run with Bitcoin. You can sell your Bitcoin right now to buy equipment, farm equipment, tractors, get machinery. You can still sell it for fiat and everything like that. But I'm talking about the actual product.
You're gonna have to.
The actual product that comes out of the farm, your good, your service that you produce, you can actually sell it for Bitcoin. So if I grow cattle, I grow lettuce, I grow potatoes or whatever.
Yeah, but in order to operate that farm, you're gonna have to cash out in the fiat.
Not necessarily, because if it's on a barter system, it doesn't matter what currency I use. Right?
Okay, so you're saying that people just accepting Bitcoin for like feed and all kind of other stuff.
Well, if they're goods that can be regrown and regenerated at very minimal low cost, yeah, it makes a lot of sense to sell your stuff in Bitcoin. And now the reason for that is because at the end of the day, when we value money, we value our time. So we only value a $100 bill is because it can get us food and we can buy a drink at the bar, we can buy a car, like really low or really high time preference stuff that we've grown to just take for granted here in America. So what I mean by that is essentially we can start new economies based on Bitcoin because it's a standalone monetary system. And the fact that we don't need to cash out into government currencies is for a lot of reasons because it's already failing. The monetary experiment is failing. I wanted to talk to you guys about
No. Monetary experiment is failed. It's failed.
I agree, but let's just go to modern monetary theory because.
But what I'm trying to get across to you is guess who has the solutions that people are going to gravitate towards. Shout out to Snap. Shout out to AZ Tech. I appreciate the cash app and Darth Low Q, man. I appreciate the cash app.
Okay, so I see a couple of comments. So we got Lesson Burn. He's basically saying you have to cash out and you have to pay taxes. Yes, but the scenario that we're talking about is essentially in a deflationary scenario where the country has descended into like anarchy. So there won't be any tax. There won't be any government to pay taxes to. Lesson Burn.
Man, get out of here, man. Y'all gotta stop saying crazy shit like this, man.
The scenario that you came up with.
You have to stop saying crazy shit like this.
I'm just working with the scenario that you presented, my friend. That's all.
I never created a scenario where the governments went away.
No, if the government
don't throw me in y'all's camp.
If we go into a deflationary crash, the government is going away. Because they no longer serve us or they serve the populace. They failed the social contract to uphold it, and then now that's it. It's over. There won't be any.
Y'all are underestimating the sheep big time.
No, we're not underestimating the sheep. Essentially,
yes, you guys are. We've had a Great Depression already.
Yeah, what happened? Great Depression, and what came before that? What came during that Great Depression? They told everyone to give up their gold.
They what?
They told Executive Order 6102 in the, I believe it was in 1935, U.S. citizens had to give up their gold.
And they gave up the gold.
Now look, we have that.
That's
scenario. We have Bitcoin. And we have smarter. Wait, we have Bitcoin and we have smarter people now. Not everyone in the United
States. Oh my God, come on, fam. Don't do that.
Okay, now you just
smarter people now.
You're assuming that people that
don't do that
will give up their Bitcoin, which is fair enough for you to think. But what I'm trying to say is that we already have a system where we don't necessarily need their government dictating how much the price of interest should be or the price of a house or anything like that should be. So if the system does crash and the monetary renegotiations do start,
We have examples of the system crashing, and the sheep went to guess who for the solutions?
Bitcoin.
The government.
they went to Bitcoin.
Right. How come the sheep didn't go to the Bitcoin of the time, gold?
They did go to gold. Historically,
how come they gave their gold to the government? How come they gave the gold to the government?
That was just in 1930.
Yeah, but why did they do that?
People have always fled the gold.
Because they trusted the government with.
No, because they had to. They had to.
He's not talking about the 800 other times in history of war and civilizations rising and falling that people have ran to gold. He's talking about the one time that the United States made the government, the citizens give up their gold. But please go ahead.
We've seen the sheep. I've seen the sheep.
I've seen them too. I see them every day. They got face masks. They got diapers on their face, and
the sheep are here. Yes, the sheep.
Tight. It doesn't.
In cars by themselves with masks on.
It doesn't matter what the sheep do because they don't have the money.
Yo, wait a minute.
The wealth. Wait
a minute, Creole. I can't let you get up here and say it doesn't matter what the sheep do. Okay. Listen, it does matter what the sheep do. It does.
It doesn't.
Yes,
we're talking about
the sheep are voting for another stimulus.
Let them finish.
The sheep are about to vote for a whole nother stimulus.
Right. And that stimulus is how much?
$2 trillion.
2 trillion. That's half the market cap of Bitcoin already, or 2 times the market cap of Bitcoin already.
They don't want sound money, quote unquote. They like the money. But they want more of the fiat money.
What did people do with that stimulus check? They put it into assets. They put it into crypto. They put it into Bitcoin. Coinbase tweeted about how when that $1,200 stimulus check came out, they put the stats up of how many $1,200 transactions into crypto Coinbase they had that one single day.
Shout out to A1 for the Cash App. I get it. A lot of people took their stimulus money and they put it into Bitcoin. Unfortunately, that was not a big percentage of the U.S. population.
Just the smart people.
Yeah.
Right. Again, the people who want sheep.
Now, I'll give you an example. You got foreign countries like Nigeria that has a heavy peer-to-peer Bitcoin economy. When essentially their government banned Bitcoin, right, they had their banking access locked. So there was no cashing out into a fiat in Nigeria, right? So what happened was the people got wise, and then now you have a blooming of money brokers all over Nigeria. Go and YouTube it with peer-to-peer marketplaces for all kind of Bitcoin, shitcoin, whatever you want. So essentially, I want to just say that necessity is the mother of all invention, right? So we have to think bigger than that. We're just assuming that people are going to just fall and fold, and that's not true. Nigeria is a case study of people will get going when the going gets tough. Am I right or wrong?
Man, bro, the Nigerian.
We even have Nigerian central bankers that are closet Bitcoiners now because of this. You've seen the news.
Nigeria they were shutting down bank accounts that were linked to crypto exchanges.
Absolutely. They cut the third party right out of the Nigerian crypto scene. So now Nigeria is about, like, let's say 85% peer-to-peer. Amazing.
No, they're getting Bitcoin from an exchange.
Well, yeah, they're getting it from Binance, but essentially when you withdraw it off Binance,
the same Binance who has folded to regulatory agencies worldwide already.
Well, I mean, you can still withdraw your crypto off Binance, regardless of
Binance has already shown that they are going to do what the governments tell them to do.
Right, just like every other exchange. I'm not arguing that. What I'm saying is that the exchange still gives you permission to withdraw. So once you withdraw and it becomes your crypto, well then goodbye exchange. I don't have to transact with you anymore. So we saw rapid, let's say like a run on the banks with the exchanges because people realize that now I don't have to use the exchange to pay for food or a haircut or to get my lights fixed or that sort of thing.
Yo, Creole.
Yeah, I'm here.
Go ahead and go. I'm gonna let you get that off. Go ahead and explain why it doesn't matter what the sheep do.
Because okay, it doesn't matter what the sheep do. For one thing, they ain't got no money. Two, where does the sheep money go?
I gotta pause you right there. They don't have money, but guess who they depend on for the money?
Okay, but where does the sheep money eventually end up?
In the hands of the oligarchs.
Right.
Okay.
The same place where the Bitcoin millionaires' money is ending up.
So it's going to Bitcoin.
No.
I mean, any way you look at it, Bitcoin goes to infinity. Any scenario.
Oh,
The only way Bitcoin.
I'm gonna put a limit on that. Like we got to get you get a 10-time limit to say Bitcoin is going to infinity.
Because you have to think about it. You have to think about it. In every scenario, the Bitcoin price goes up. The only scenario that Bitcoin does not go up is hey, the only
go up.
The only scenario that the Bitcoin price doesn't go up is if banks stop printing money. That's it. That's the only scenario. Are banks going to stop printing money?
By that logic, Bitcoin should be at $500,000 right now.
It should be.
It should be, but it's being suppressed.
Why isn't it?
Because people are trading on leverage.
Bitcoin should be at $500,000 right now based on that logic.
Yes, it should be. And it will be.
Okay,
it will be.
It should have been $500,000 2 years ago based on that same logic.
Man, see, this is what I'm saying, man.
Listen, it is what it is. A lot of people woke up to the fact that money is false. Modern monetary theory got debunked.
No, a lot of people have not woken up to the fact that money is false.
Okay. Now look, if you YouTube modern monetary theory, look at all the videos of people and the comments, people questioning what money is. This is the first time in history we have we have more people now more than ever questioning the government's money.
No, they're not. They're accepting the government's money with open arms. They're voting for the government's money. They love the government's money. What are you talking about?
That's the confidence that people have in the money.
So why didn't Trump get reelected?
Oh, because and I can't say that more than once because they'll shut my YouTube channel down.
Let me address one of your viewers. So Bitcoin is not the Model T. It's not something that just gets printed out of thin air because what it is like if you understand the SHA-256 hashing algorithm, you understand its military importance. You understand that Bitcoin is a layer of money. So understand that if it's a platform that can be upgraded and sped up, it doesn't matter. You could put basically you could turn that Model T into a Tesla. So
and
what are you talking about?
Let me jump in here too, Mr. G, because Lotus been saying some crazy things. Back to that Model T comment. Hey, back to that Model T.
Wait, I gotta say this. Lotus says Bitcoin is already dead. Shout out to Thomas, man. Hey, Thomas.
No, I got you. Lotus, I see you.
Okay,
pay rent.
Lotus.
And a slice of pizza with Bitcoin, it has no intrinsic value.
Hold on. What's the question?
You just pretty much saying, like, look, if you can't go through your day-to-day with just buying everything with Bitcoin, then it has no intrinsic value.
Get out of here, Thomas. Get out of here. You're talking about buying coffee. You should use Bitcoin Cash for that. You can buy pizza with Bitcoin Cash, buy your coffee.
Get Bitcoin Cash?
Thomas, no, let me answer this.
You gonna let this nigga get away with saying Bitcoin Cash, fam?
Let me answer this.
What's going on? Bitcoin Cash?
Thomas, Ty. Hey, Bitcoin does not have to succeed as being a currency to still be the global reserve asset. Currency in the world is a drop in the bucket compared to where wealth is. Bitcoin is not just a currency. It's a store of value for wealth. Think of real estate, bonds, derivatives. Currency is a small fraction of wealth.
Right, like Bitcoin's not competing with the dollar, it's competing with the 10-year treasury bond. Like, get out of here with that buying pizza. Nobody buys pizza with a 10-year treasury note. Have you seen anyone walk into the deli and order a sandwich with a 10-year treasury bond? That's not what we're doing here. You got to research money.
Yeah, Bitcoin is playing a different game.
Yeah, different game. These people want to buy pizza and cigarettes. Like, no, that's not what we're doing here. If you
all right, because y'all are taking Bitcoin and comparing it to actual things that are functioning in the financial system.
You
right?
mean like the 10-year treasury bond, what they just print out of thin air? Yeah, that.
The negative yielding bonds
more than Bitcoin. Yes.
The negative yielding bonds. Yeah. That has no work.
What's more valuable, the 10-year treasury bond that Janet Yellen just spits out of her rear end?
Yes. The same Janet Yellen that froze trading on Robinhood and allowed the rich people to get out of GameStop and AMC while you peasants had to watch the price fall in front of your face. That Janet Yellen. Yes. When the banks with the tanks put that phone call in, Janet Yellen said, you know what? If you guys do not halt trading for these peons and let the gang out, you know what I'm saying? Then we gonna have problems, okay? And then Robinhood got rewarded a month later by going public, okay? This is what you Bitcoin maximalists are up against.
But hey, no.
Guess like over 50%.
Y'all gotta go against that phone call.
Tight. Guess what you can't
Big
turn
Janet.
off?
Yeah, Big Janet. Big Janet.
Guess what Big Janet can't turn off?
Huh?
Guess what Big Janet can't turn off?
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? So Bitcoin has no competition because nobody can turn it off.
OG Yellen called Canada and said, hey, y'all know how y'all can fix that, right? Y'all know how y'all can deal with that, right? Yeah. Little Canada called Big Homie Yellen. Big Homie Yellen said, this what you do, all right? Tell these motherfuckers, whoever y'all got to do, shut the shit down, okay? Hit the exchanges, hit that third party. Tell that third party if they don't comply, they die. That's what we're doing.
Yo, Canada is not playing, Mo. Yo, can I talk about? Let me just share something about Canada real quick. Yo, Canada, they basically set like a precedent. They said that if you are even within like, let's say 50 feet of a protest, like you look the wrong way, or you raise your fist, or you pick up a picket, or hit a wrong post, they can close your bank account.
Yeah, they already got that in China right now. You want?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And their social system is tied in through facial recognition and everything. You know what? I ain't gonna go there because I don't know. You know.
Anarcho day trader, check it out. If they decouple exchanging Bitcoin for fiat, then they're decoupling exchanging all your cryptos for fiat. So your entire portfolio is done. So
done.
You know, get out now.
Man, stop it. That's my point. That's what I'm saying about Bitcoin. It's only worth anything because fiat is going into it.
Well, I don't value my Bitcoin based on dollar prices. One Bitcoin will always be one Bitcoin.
I know you Looney Tunes don't price your Bitcoin in dollars, but the other 99.98% of people who are in the crypto space, guess what they do? They go and they look up the price of Bitcoin and they only care about what the price is in USD. Okay, that's what happens.
They have confidence in the dollar. Studying Bitcoin.
Yes.
These are people that are looking at for the next leg up. They're trying to make their gains in dollar value. I respect it. I'm not saying that trading Bitcoin and dollar value won't yield you more dollars or more Bitcoin if that's what you're looking for. What I'm saying is that if you study the dollar, you understand since the dollar came out, it's lost 96% of its value, right? It didn't lose 96% of its value overnight, because if it did, then everybody would leave. Everybody would flee the dollar. They'd jump into gold. They'd jump into a bottle of Grey Goose if it held more value than a dollar. But what I'm saying is that essentially, seeing as how since 1930, the dollar has basically been on a slide down, it might be better to put your money into something more stable. Now, you can put your money in gold. I'm not saying don't put your money in gold. What I'm saying is that you can also put your money into something that's going to be more valuable. And if you understand computers, if you understand the whole idea behind blockchains and the foundations of what blockchain actually is, you'll put your money in Bitcoin because you kind of like made the logical conclusion that Bitcoin is more valuable than gold, because gold is physical. It can be taken and seized from me. Whereas Bitcoin, I can keep my life savings on a piece of paper 2x2.
Yo, wait a minute. Les's Bird said, put your money in student loans.
I like that. That dude is crazy. Yo, that guy, I know who you're talking about. That guy is crazy. That guy is leading people down the wrong pipe. He thinks the dollar is money. So the guy's lazy. He's on this wild goose chase.
Yo, the dollar is money. Yo, stop it.
No, the dollar is not money. It's a unit of currency. What's money is the 10-year treasury.
Okay, money, unit of currency. That's what the dollar is.
It's a con game. It's a figment. But really, the real money, the basic money.
Okay, it's a working con game.
It's working. It's working very well.
The con game is working better than Bitcoin.
No, it's not.
Not necessarily. If you look back when Bitcoin came out,
the con game is being used again. Think about this. You call fiat the con game, and your Bitcoin is priced in the con game. Your
not necessarily
is in direct correlation with the con game.
It just, the con game or the fiat price of Bitcoin only dictates how much time, basically, or how much time I have to dedicate to acquiring a certain position in the Bitcoin network. So now Bitcoin is only 21 million Bitcoin, right? Ever. In the year 2140, the last will be mined.
Right. The supply game only works if the demand game is there.
That, as I agree with you 100% on that.
The demand game is still in the con game.
It's confidence. If you have confidence in Bitcoin, you'll buy, you'll acquire it, you'll work for it. Cool. If you have confidence in the dollar, you will work for it, you'll get paid in it, you'll take goods and service payment in the dollar, which is fine. What I'm saying is that essentially that if we see that over time, 10 years, Bitcoin essentially went from $0. Now it's in the 5 digits, to where like a regular average person has to work for an entire year to value it. Then that means like Bitcoin's worth a year's work. That's just in period to me. Now you got people that are highly skilled that can buy multiple Bitcoin over the course of a year, in the course of a month, a week, whatever, right? Everyone has their own special skills and their own talents that they can, that's false. So when people say they're not working for Bitcoin, you need to go back home and research all the companies that are paying people in Bitcoin for their services. Coinbase pays their clients in Bitcoin, if you didn't know. What I'm saying is that, Bitcoin is denominated in its own currency. So Bitcoin is a network, it's a unit of account, and it's a currency at the same time. Bitcoin units are denominated to 8 places after the decimal. So you'll have 1.00000 to the 8th place in the decimal. So that's 100 million currency units to make one whole Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So it's a monetary game. It's really, it requires deep thinking. This is why not everyone's going to be rich. Is everyone rich now? No. Everyone can get rich now a lot faster than they could in the past because they don't have to work as much.
Mr. G, I'm asking you the same question.
Cool.
Bitcoin is going to infinity. How much Bitcoin should you buy right now to carry you into the future that will make you rich?
All right. Well, I'll give you an example.
I'm saying the minimum amount you can buy right now, based on your opinion.
Cool. I would say a quarter of a Bitcoin would work for an American. Because Americans have expensive taste. We're essentially spoiled. We need more to sustain our lifestyles and our lives. So I would say, let's say a quarter of a Bitcoin would be good for the average American family. So that's 25 million Satoshis. So you figure like, let's say we had the almighty flippening where one Satoshi equals $1.
Yeah.
You would have $25 million to feed your family, take your kids to college, go on vacations, essentially start a business. And
Now, wait. You know you priced that in dollars, right? You just said dollars.
yeah, because historically dollars have been trending towards zero against Bitcoin.
Now,
Yeah.
here's my thing too about, because I remember when people saying Bitcoin's going to $1 million, and in my head is like, you don't want to live in a world where it takes $1 million to equal Bitcoin.
But that's
Listen,
That's just based off of inflation. Like this is what I'll say. Like, if there is no solution from the banks, which there is, right? This before I start reading and researching this shit, I was like, yo, if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, the world is on some fucking Mad Max shit.
Yeah, that's a deflationary crash. That's called a deflationary crash.
And their banks aren't going to stop printing money.
No, it's not.
So let me answer this by addressing Lotus in the chat.
Drunk? Anybody been drinking? I'm just asking because because people. There we go. There it is. There it is.
When and Lotus keeps saying this, so I have to address it, and it kind of ties into the topic we're talking about right now. He says there's nothing unique about Bitcoin. There are better cryptos available. This is my point that I'm trying to get over to Ty. A CBDC doesn't solve the problem. What's the problem with the current financial system is that we print money out of thin air. Okay, this is what makes Bitcoin unique. Bitcoin's settlement layer can never be changed, unlike Ethereum, unlike Cardano, unlike Polkadot, unlike CBDCs.
Yes,
no, it cannot.
No. What you're saying, let me jump in. It can be changed with consensus.
Yes.
So consensus right now is to not change Bitcoin. That
right. So if
actions, but go ahead.
But
so
you will still be.
Time out. If the banks with the tanks decide to take over the mining piece,
let him finish because he's wrong. But go ahead, Todd.
Right. So if they end up with over 51% of the proof of work piece of it, they can change the base layer.
That's
okay. They can fork the base layer.
They can only fork. They can't change the rules. They can only fork. Thank you, Creole.
So let's say they fork it. Let's say they fork it. Then what?
Okay, let's talk about this game theory. Okay, a government co-ops the Bitcoin mining network and they fork it,
which is not impossible, right?
No,
it's not impossible. But the thing that's unique about Bitcoin, they cannot roll back past transactions. So what's going to happen? The protocol is going to fork, and the rest of the nodes will follow the original code. Now, unless the government can go and break into everybody's computer that's running a node and actually change the code on each and every computer, the original code stays the same. So yeah, I can fork Bitcoin and create another fork of it, but I can't change the nodes. That's what's unique about Bitcoin. That's what's unique about proof of work. All these other shit coins can be taken over. Past transactions can be rolled back.
Lotus, how many Monero are there, Lotus? How many Monero are there? Like, let me know how many Monero are there.
Monero has already been cracked. They already have the tools to track and trace Monero. I've shown guys.
Lotus can't verify on his node that how many Monero there are. Because if I run a node, I can query my node and I can find out with the accuracy of the last 10 minutes, how many Bitcoin there are on the network, how many Bitcoin there are to spend, how many individual UTXOs there are spread on the network, like how many chunks little Bitcoin on their network. So that's what running a Bitcoin node affords you. So it's a deeper conversation here. I would love to get into it.
Shout out to A1 for the infotainment.
Let me add.
They are underestimating the apathy of sheep. Yeah, I agree. That's what I try to tell you guys. Like, it's just, the sheep. Don't underestimate the sheep, fam. I'm telling you,
the sheep ain't got no money or power.
The sheep have governed, like they have.
It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does matter.
Really, no. You do need like a bottom class of people to operate. Let's say like whatever we have here is this kind of like government, whatever you want to call it. You do need like a bottom class of people to have this thing functioning. So that bottom class of people, they have to be confident in the currency, because if they're not confident in the currency, we're gonna have all hell breaking loose. And Bitcoin,
that's not gonna happen. If they lose confidence in anything, it'll be something like Bitcoin that's not attached to any national sovereignty.
That's the whole point. That's why it's going to be a global open source.
And that's why Bitcoin adoption is not going to happen faster than regulatory clarity.
Ty, look at El Salvador. In 4 months.
Why do you keep using the fucking 25th largest economy in the world or something like that?
In 4 months, Bitcoin banked unbanked people at a faster rate
than 100 years. The government.
But what? Let me ask you something. So, like, basically, we don't need the regulation to come from the top. You feel me? Like Bitcoin, it really did kind of start from the bottom, and the governments from the top tried to crush it, failed. They had to keep quiet about it because they didn't want everyone to hear that. Oh man, we just tried to like sink this new form of money, and before you know it, everybody be like, what? So it's like it's been a constant narrative battle to keep the whole like pipe Bitcoin down a little bit. And I agree that somewhat, like, I don't want to see Bitcoin regulated from the top down. I want to see it regulated from the bottom up. At least let the people be able to dictate what should happen next. It's really hard to even control Bitcoin, the protocol, from the top down anyway. So it's interesting. If they can control it, let's see how they do it. Because Nigeria, like we just said before, is a case study on like Bitcoin is like a bar of soap. You try to like, it's just gonna fucking
and not only that, Mr. G, but Bitcoin is a living, breathing code. So literally, if you attack the system, it becomes stronger, because the only way you can attack Bitcoin is with hash rate. So if somebody did try to take over the Bitcoin network, they actually make it stronger.
Hold on. Let me do this real quick, because I covered this whenever it first came out and nobody believed it. So this is CipherTrace. It's a company that's owned by MasterCard. They have the enhanced Monero tracing capabilities for government agencies and financial institutions. I'll leave the link down here, okay? A lot of people don't want to believe this, but here's the price. It says pricing for the source tracing for Monero transaction capabilities start at $16,000 per year. So it's pretty much you buy the license to use this shit for 1 year, okay? This is old. Like this is what I'm saying. Like, for anybody who think they're gonna have this secret society.
Did they hack it? I'm gonna check that article. Did they hack it, or is it just like the tools to like?
Yes, the tools to trace Monero. Like they can trace the shit. I'm sorry to tell y'all. Like, this is not some. Again, this is. Here's the phone number. Call Nick. You know what I'm saying? And tell them like, hey, I would like to lease out the tools to trace Monero.
I'm gonna check out this article. Yeah, this looks interesting.
Yeah, this.
You remember when the dude got caught up, Fluffy, the boss, the Fluffy Pony?
Yeah, he got arrested at an airport, and
they just let him out.
Yeah, he did 1 day, and I'm talking about he actually was extradited from I want to say Africa or some shit. Some other
shit, yeah.
he got here, picked up on a private airstrip in a whole nother country, brought here to America. This dude does 1 day in jail. Isn't crack. Yo, you motherfuckers are silly.
Nah, this shit is deep. The dude did like, I don't know if he did like 1 day, but they like.
No, he did 1 day. He was on Twitter the next day.
Wow.
He was on Twitter the next day. The dude that was, bruh. Whatever, I don't care. You know what?
I'm gonna check that out. That shit looks interesting.
All right, Monero is untraceable. Nobody, they didn't collect whatever bounty or whatever. You're right. I don't care. Do you, boo-boo? I don't want it. Don't say I didn't tell you, man. These people, they already gave up the cookies, my nigga. It's a wrap.
So, Todd, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Oh, in the next 5 years, right? Where do you see the average person, like the average working person that makes, like, let's say $40,000 a year?
Yeah.
How do you see their life being, like, as far as like just the average person making 40,000? What are their prospects on owning a home, starting a family? Essentially, what do you think those prospects are looking like in that environment? And let's say 5 years from today.
To be honest, if you haven't adapted to this fourth wave of industrialism, right, automation and all the rest of it, like you're gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
And that's just, there's and you can just follow the money, like Facebook and Tesla and all. They're not investing billions of dollars into this technology to see what happens. You see what I'm saying? They are shaping society. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
And if you can't adapt, you out.
Yeah. So what's people's only hope?
People's only hope is to find the opportunity, dig into this stuff, and try to be ahead of the curve, and invest and plant seeds into the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
So I see Lotus had something to say about the Cipher Trace article. I'm gonna still read it though, because as far as I understood, Monero wasn't really being able to trace the transactions like that. I could be wrong, so I'm gonna check that article out.
Right. Again, I don't trust it. I know what happened with the guy who was running that shit. I seen the dude get picked up on a private airport, brought to the United States, only to be let out in 1 day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'm good on that. I mean, like, that's, you want to do it. Fuck it.
Yeah, we're definitely going into some scary, crazy times and everything like that. I mean, I wouldn't say real estate is all the way out the window. I would look into, like, if you're doing something out here, get into some real estate, like get into some land that has some you want to have like a hideout. You want to have some land that has some water under it. Call a company.
Chill out, man. This is not the channel.
I'm just saying.
It's not the channel for people to, I do not want to be in the algorithm with the wackies. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
Even if you're talking in good sense, once you start telling people to dig a well and, you know what I'm saying? It just you get thrown in the algorithm under some weird stuff, man. I'm cool.
Yo, you ain't lying. You get thrown in the algorithm with the doomsday preppers and shit.
Yeah. The bug out boys. Yeah, the bug out boys. The bug out boys. I'm good on that, fam. Again, I'm in Texas. Hella ammo, hella guns. We you know what I'm saying?
Y'all celebrate that 2A out there, man. I celebrate that shit. Y'all not like these. Y'all not like these.
Yeah, it's super lit. Creole is a fellow Texas resident. When he not globetrotting and partying at art type events and shit. Man, he up with the nigga, man.
I'm actually out in California now.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
had to leave my poles in
What
Texas.
you doing back there?
Yo, mind your business, fam. We do not want to get involved with his day-to-day, fam. We do not want to get into Creole day-to-day affairs.
Yeah, I got some business out here.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man.
Yo,
Listen, let me get 4 ounces.
Let him.
I just want 4 ounces, Creole. All right, just give me 4 ounces.
Send me some Bitcoin. Send me some Bitcoin.
So man, I appreciate y'all coming through so we can have this discussion, man. Like,
yeah,
I may have to do this on the weekly because as regulations come down, I see a lot of the Bitcoin maximalists shaking in their boots. You know what I'm saying? Trying to tell them that the banks with the tanks was in full effect. Nobody believed me. Here we are, 2 years later. We got an executive order on the table. And
still no CBDC.
Bruh, keep playing.
Where is CBDC, Tom?
Where they at? Where is the CBDC? Where it's at? Where the code at?
They on the way. They on the way. All right, so for everybody, I appreciate y'all coming through. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Also, subscribe to Mr. G Recycling. He run a recycling business up in New York. Got all kind of contracts and shit. Balling like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Ounces of gold. All that shit going down over there. You know what I'm saying? Also, subscribe to Untwisting the Game, a dope crypto channel with a crazy vibe. It's way cooler than my shit. Anything else y'all want to say on the way out? Yo, drop the link to y'all channels.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
All right. Yeah, let me do that.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you.
Chopping up with y'all fellas, man.
You too, Mr. G.
Hey, man, get that microphone, dog. Yeah, get that microphone, dog. I ain't gonna lie. You be killing us, fam.
Nah, I had to drop that other one yesterday. I got a new setup. I'm gonna have it swaggy for like the next time we do this. You heard?
Uh-oh.
All right,
Let's do it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the pull up, and yeah, feel free, man. Let's do this any time, man.
Yeah, I'll probably start doing on the weekend or whatever.
I bet. Say no more. Let me drop my link, and then I'll see my fellas on another time, man.
All right, peace.
Peace, bro.
I got, boy. Yeah, 2A, we here, man. Yeah. Let's see. There he is. There go Mr. G right there, man.
Appreciate y'all boys, man.
Yeah, we here, man. So yeah, man, y'all hit the like button, hit subscribe button, get over to these guys' channels. Premium YouTube content. Activate B said good stream, getting a lot of game. Yeah, absolutely, man. So I appreciate y'all coming through. Peace out. Y'all take it easy. Have a good rest of your Sunday.